Hey, we got nameplates. Hello.
Is it good looking?
It is. It's cute. I like it.
Nice. Toy.
They look nice even if you turn your webcam off. I'm just gonna preview my own thing because I want to see what it looks like. Ooh, it's still legible.
I'm opening the Twitch stream to check out how it looks because I'm curious.
Discord isn't letting me see that you're on Twitch now, which is
I
very
think
annoying.
It hasn't loaded yet.
It always takes like a short while. I forget how long. It's like a minute or two.
I always get an email about it.
You get an email every time.
Oh,
wow.
it looks pretty good.
Yeah. And a phone notification.
Oh, and it just tries a little fade over there. Ooh, ooh. Oh, it's nice.
I like it.
Subtle.
Nice. Well, shall we?
There's my
Dungeon
email.
Dragon.
TheBarinade is live.
Yeah, I got mine too just now.
Officially live.
Oh, there's one housekeeping thing, but we can do this at the end, maybe.
Wait, what? You can't just
I'll
bring. I'm curious now.
I'm just gonna say, there's something called Sirenscape, which I use in my Friday game, which is a music system software thing. I understand. Yeah, and I think that if we have time next week, seeing as we're getting on a little bit early anyway, just to give it a try, it could be cool. I'll have a look into how we do it. Ask my friend, and then he can give us some pointers. But it's pretty cool, and I like the idea of being able to like control the music in the background. So yeah, but that's all. That was just I was going to mention it before we started the stream, but I'm mentioning it now anyway.
That's cool. It's cool.
Cool. All right. So, do I say hello? Okay. Hi. Let's start the game. I'm a good streamer.
That was good. That was the best, most fluid, smoothest start we've ever had.
I know. I'm so good at it. Let's all roll for a recap, please.
Roll for good times.
I need to roll. I always say that. I never roll my own dice. Natural 1, so 1
boy, okay.
is the closest.
16.
14, 16, 8, and
16.
16.
Oh, no.
Double Lily whammy.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Things happened.
If it helps, there's a Google Doc that I shared with you with a summary of all of the things that happened on it.
Hey, Aylin, are your notes still?
My notes are always in the thing. They only get deleted when they are updated.
I'd love if you just deleted it. Like, what do you do now, Lily? What do you do now?
Why would I do that?
That's just me, isn't it?
I lost track of the notes situation because there were like thousands of different versions of them, and I just don't know where to begin. Even though it'd be really cool to look at them, I'm just like,
Wait.
ah.
The summaries that are in the Discord are
There are
more summaries.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the other notes are a little bit more transcribed and whatnot. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The Google
Wait,
Doc
you have
ones-
notes that have even more detail?
Oh my god. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This is when we take this campaign and turn it into a choose your own adventure book.
Oh my god.
We almost have
That
like
would be
enough
really
material to
interesting with
like
the IP.
automatically subtitle
Beyond the Bran.
Beyond the brand.
Wait, where does this start?
Very cool.
Okay, got it. I got it.
Choose
I
your
got
own
it. Don't worry. I
flex.
was complaining to myself. Right. Yeah. Choose your own flakes.
Choose your own flakes. You get a
Okay.
chili flakes. You get a
Delicious.
paprika flakes. 99 flakes.
Coming soon. All right. So
Oh no.
this is session 63, right?
Oh my god, we're gonna be in session 69 soon.
Yeah, because we're on
Nice.
64 today.
Nice.
Okay. So
I'm ready.
I won't read the basic summary. I'll start from Bluey. So Bluey, during her morning routine in Kalkan, while she's helping out around the temple, she receives a sending from Mumsvisfeld, who Bluey left in Melas to continue pursuing Freds with regards to the Temple of Carmentrand, asking if she knows anyone called Solari and saying that she may know something. Bluey doesn't know who Solari is, but decides to go with IT back to Melas to talk to Solari. I'm gonna skim read. Mumsafel decides not to come with them, so they go and try to talk to Solari. It's not the most friendly encounter, and Solari ends up closing the door on them, but Bluey somehow convinces her way inside the house, and Solari makes them tea. Solari lives with her cat. We respect that. Solari is the last remaining follower of Carmen Trand left in Malice, I believe.
Her
with her
older and younger
sister.
sibling.
Yeah. There's a lot of information here, Aelin. How do you get this much down? Anyway, I'm just going to summarize what I remember. Solari does not want to take... I'm not reading this anymore, I'm just remembering. Solari does not want to take Bluey into the temple... Sorry, into the tears. So... Don't laugh at me, please.
I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at my own notes.
I am also laughing at Aelin's notes.
Thank you. So they go into Solari's house, blah blah blah. Solari doesn't want to take them into the tears, but suggests that they need an acolyte to bring them through. She seems pretty grumpy and disillusioned, dissatisfied with how the temple was run and the fact that Tiamat seems to have been taken over. She makes reference to something living in the tears and says that they should just let it die, which is very mysterious and sad. And so Bluey and IT want to go to the Temple of Bahamut to learn more, where they join up with Finnegan, and they leave Mumsfeld to keep an eye on Malice whilst they're gone. Baitan is also currently at the temple. Then thus begins Bluey's library hopping. Cool. All right. Then Brian, month 3, he is on his trip around the Maasai. He spends time with Kev, his father, his mother, and Lucas. They manage to do a lot of things. I mean, Brian and Lucas get on pretty well. Brian earns some respect. Kev suggests that Brian take Loran and his parents to dinner with his own parents to improve Loran's standing in the Maasai, and they decide to do that later because they don't know when things are going to be chill enough to have a nice family dinner.
Chill.
Chill. Ahaha.
Oh ho ho.
Funny.
Always chill in the Maasai.
Yeah. During the migration, Brian receives a letter from Loran. Wait, Emma, we can read the letter in this session.
Oh my gosh, would you like to read the letter?
Yeah, I should. I'll do that when we play.
Yes.
So Brian does write a reply to that letter. He assists with the migration and protects Kev at all costs. Every night he does the rounds with Lucas. He earns a lot of respect, and yeah, they work well together. I won't go into the details because that's not really necessary, but people respect Brian for his magical skills, and given that it's his first migration, he lacks experience, he has to assert himself, and he takes charge of the situation.
You have 5 minutes left.
Slya is with the after the Criffin leave. Slya gets 1 day off a week to explore Batar. She spends time wandering the city. She asks her handler about Fashar since she's seen her fighting. She sees her training pretty often, and she goes and sits down with Arcadia to watch Fashar. And whilst they're there, they see Sinestre, who seems to be... Everyone seems to avoid Sinestre. I can't imagine why. So Slya goes and sits next to Sinestre, and they have a little chat. And Sinestre invites Slya home. There's someone called Zesintra, that's it, who ignores Slya. And Sinestre admits that she expected Zesintra to kill Slya on the spot. When Slya returns home at the end of 3rd week of month 3, she gets a message from Loran in her mind, which says, "Hello's Longshot, any chance you can send anything about the Sisterhood?" And I'm really going to have to skip because I'm running out of time. Neff, month 3. Neff's training in the 5 Spies. She's picking things up. Neff wakes up in Vanya's bed and sees Vanya's putting on shoes. Neff's relationship with Vanya doesn't really work out. Just going to skip ahead to that bit. And she keeps on fighting, so they're still on good terms. And she acquires a new stage name, Defel. And she is basically paid to throw the matches, which is morally questionable, but yes, Neff, do you?
Money.
Money. Neff actually gets paid a hell of a lot of money, which is pretty sweet. So breaks up with Vanya and decides to fix her relationship with Osha. And Osha is very happy to get their relationship back on track, although she is a bit worried about Neff's broken nose. Now we skip back to Brian. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Brian goes back to Ashisul in the last week of month 4, where he reunites with Loran. Most important thing about this is that Zarina comes to Ashisul and wants to update them on the situation with Karul. The fact that Karul is actually going to be executed once they locate Jaral. And Brian's not too happy about that. In fact, no one's really too happy about that. So they all collectively decide to keep Jaral away from the Sealy Court and find his son, Dallas. And also, Zarina tells Brian that Karul has stopped talking ever since Brian showed him the purple dahlia. And Brian also gets upset about that. But what doesn't Brian get upset about? Anyway, they say goodbye. They say goodbye. Brian scries on Jaral and sees Jaral is in a very strange place where the connection is off and it's almost like reaching through a broken window. It hurts him to look at it, but he looks for a little bit. He can see Jaral's outline and he can see that Sobek is with him and they are somewhere in a crater. He sends a sending to Jaral through Loran and he says, I know Karul's hold. Trust I want to free both you and your son. I could not live with it if I let him have you. And the reply from Jaral is, at least my son must be free from him. Yes, that's it. That's what happened.
You also learn that Sobek is still alive.
I said that. I said he's with Sobek.
Oh, okay. In his, he
didn't miss
said
it. I'm all over the details. That was all.
Yep. Very good. And 2
Very
minutes ahead of time.
Wow.
Great.
I like that this is
So
on stream,
powerful.
that I can just keep watching it while my Discord's crashing.
Oh no!
Sorry.
That's true.
I'm sorry for disrespecting your notes, by the way. I had to skip a lot, but there's a lot of detail in Aylin's notes, so...
There's so much detail. It's
Yeah, so much
I love the
detail.
so
detail.
much.
I just thought it was kind of funny.
Okay.
I keep track of things.
Yeah.
That's
It's good to
fair
have
enough,
that level,
Mm.
just so I can also use it. But I have this thing that happens to me, which is that I can never keep track of links that people send me, and I lose them, and that is what happened. I lost the links to all these notes, and I haven't looked at them since I lost them.
My thing that I do is I have like a separate Google Drive folder where every time anybody sends literally anything, I always just upload a copy there.
Power.
So-
Yeah.
How much
So
dirt do you secretly have on us? All of our fanfics.
I have every fanfic organized by author in folders. I keep them all. I like them. They're cool.
As Emma said, power.
Unlimited power.
I
I
have the
wrote
archive.
something terrible the other day while I was at work. Lily knows what I'm talking about.
What? What did you make? What did you make?
It's not terrible. It's actually very well written.
What?
Yes, I understand the sentiment.
But the thought I was considering maybe help like letting you guys have a snippet of it if Lily was like cool with it. But then the moment
give it to
the
them.
moment I heard you had a Google Drive, all those thoughts went out the window. No thanks.
Right.
No way.
It might be some very
Spicy.
content.
Yes.
Very spicy.
Emma.
2 days in a row I'm producing spice. Oh no. Right.
Oh my God.
I love this side
Dungeons
of you.
and Dragons.
Character development, IRL.
Me.
Yeah. It's good.
Yes. Okay. So, D&D. Right. How do I do this game again? Start here. It says a point of my notes. It says start here, Emma. You know you'll make a mistake.
Start here.
Okay. So, everyone in Feywild, Masai, Freya, and the Underdark in Batar. You all go about your daily lives, and time presses on as it tend to do, and you're already into the 4th month of your time apart from the party. Neff. Continuing your training in the 5 Spires, you one day receive a visit from a face you haven't seen in a very long time. Almost over 2 months now since you've seen this person.
Oof.
As you take a break from your sparring with the other initiates, going over to the water fountain and splashing some water on your face, cooling yourself down. It's getting quite warm up here. You hear a set of footsteps approaching you.
I turn towards the footsteps, if I might be able to do so.
You may. Turning around, being escorted through the sort of circular halls of the circular open halls of the temple. You see Vanya leading a tall Tal'Shiri man who you recognize to be Sarazur Dehane through the hallways. When he's like looking around, and when he spots you, he kind of smiles, like raises a hand and moves into the center, thanking Vanya as he goes, and Vanya just kind of like salutes and goes off to a separate room. The other initiates clear out at her word, and she gives you and Sarazur a moment alone. Sarazur looks tired. The moment you see him, that's apparent. His posture is sort of a little bit lower, everything's a little bit slower, his eyes a few more lines beneath them than you previously noticed. But he's clean, appears to have maybe traveled that day from the city. And he just smiles at you and says, "Hello, Neff, I'm sorry it's been so long."
Ah, Sarazur, it's so good to see you. It's been
It's good to see you too.
maybe 2 months, I think.
Yes, two very long months. How are you? Is your training going well?
Oh, it's going really well. It took me a little while to get used to everything, but I think I've finally started to pick up the fundamentals a lot more than I thought I was at the beginning. So it's been progressing well. What brings
Good.
you here to the 5 Spires of all places?
Loran and I, you know that we had been traveling together for the last few months in our search for Valis.
Vaguely, yes.
Well, we weren't making too much progress with that, and
Oh no.
it sort of started to get between us, and we decided mutually that it was best to just take a...
Can I insight check him as it says mutually?
Yeah.
I would insight check that. Okay. Ooh, okay. Alright, please be a net 20 or something. Oh my god, I shouldn't have asked for that. I have a good modifier. 4 plus 8. 12.
12. Well, you know what the Dehanes are like. You can make your best guess about how it went down.
I think I understand what you're saying. So you're taking a break, or is the search postponed?
The search is still on.
Okay.
We're just pursuing our own leads, I suppose, at the moment.
What do you mean?
I believe that Loran is in a shissel, and I thought I'd come here to speak to my parents and let them know what our progress was, what little there was. And seeing as I was in the area, I thought I'd come and see you.
Oh, I'm gonna give my dadazer a hug.
He gives you a hug back. But
I appreciate your visit.
no, I'm glad I could make it and spare the time. We don't have a lot of it these days, do we?
That's
But
certainly
and he
true.
kind of like pats you on the shoulders, like you've gotten stronger.
I think so. A little bit. I can feel the power surging through my veins.
Well, would you like to, I don't know, spar with me?
Right now?
I'll go easy on you. I
By
can't
all
promise
means.
I'll go easy on you in a few weeks, but sure. Just
Okay.
this once.
Sounds like a deal. I'm down.
Okay. This, Nefel Karadamanyazar, is your moment in which you get your monk level. So, with these monk powers open to you, would you like to roll me initiative, please?
Whew. Okay. I've got an initiative bonus of +1. Let's go.
Cool. I also didn't bring my NPC sheets, so I'm just gonna really quickly go and grab those.
Told you. I'm about to punch my dad in the face and fail miserably.
This is great.
It's bonding.
Yes. Look, Dad, I can cause damage now.
Yeah, I actually can. I used to do 0 damage, but now, depending on whether Emma will let me use this, I might be able to do some damage. Oh. Actually, I can do this. I don't need to...
Well, now that you are a monk, we worked out a couple of things so that it wouldn't do a cheeky 0.
I do have an unarmed strike now, which actually deals damage.
There you go.
And I have the fire jab, which if I need to use a key point to actually use that, I can't use that until I add another monk level at some point later down the line.
We also nerfed that and said you'd get key points now.
Oh, okay.
Last session. Yeah.
How many key points do I get?
You get 2.
Sweet! Okay. Hell yeah. Whew.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
But obviously that means you don't get them when you increase your second level in monk. If you do increase your second level in monk, it's just
Yeah, it'll just carry
you're
over, I
swapping
guess.
that out. Yeah.
I'm just taking like a learn
Okay.
early. It's a 2 key points on lay-by.
Yep. Just because everyone's getting some special stuff, and seeing as everyone else's stuff is homebrew, I thought we could just play with it a bit so that you get
Yeah,
something
that's
that's about as equal.
0% interest loan on 2 key points. I'm down. Alright.
Grand! Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What's your initiative, please?
18!
Okay, you're going first.
Alright.
So, Saraza circles you in the arena. You guys are keeping a distance apart. And you kind of have always looked on Sarah as a father
Oh, this is
figure.
actually going to tiny
And never truly before have you, really taken in the fact that his size, whilst also a comfort, as it gives very good hugs, could also be quite menacing for an opponent. He stands broad-shouldered at about 6'2", whereas you stand less than that significantly.
Yeah,
So,
I'm a bit shorter than that.
we love an underdog. Right. So, what do you do?
Alright. I am going to attempt to land a fire jab on Sarazar.
Okay.
I'm gonna aim straight for his chest, like right below his rib cage, where we would wind him
I'm
if it did
assuming
any
you're
damage.
clarifying all of this just as a general is non-lethal damage, unless there's something you want to tell us.
I am going to attempt to actually do damage. It'll be
No. But non-lethal damage and damage are different. So you're not trying to kill Sarazar,
Oh no.
or are you?
No, I want to use the jab, which does damage, but I don't necessarily want to actually inflict anything.
So, yeah. So
It's-
no. So what the difference is
Mhm.
damage will lead to death unless you clarify that the damage you're doing is non-lethal damage. Then it
Oh
means
right,
you're
okay,
unconscious.
non-lethal. Yes, non-lethal damage.
Then it's just like unconscious but no death rolls needed. Yeah. You
Yeah.
Just,
Okay, I'm just
and then
gonna go with
eventually
that.
you get an
Shit,
HP.
is he like almost? Can I?
He's powerful.
He'll be fine. He's a big boy.
You can heal him as well.
True.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready.
Let's
All right. Let me roll. Okay, I'm gonna get into my stance, and I'm gonna attempt to swing one quick punch, a precision shot, as I barely
All right,
touch the
then.
wrist of my other hand.
Okay.
That's good. Ow, that's not very good. Does that's a plus. That's a big plus. That's a 15 beat his armor
Mhm.
class.
15. It does not. Without his armor, wait, actually no. He wouldn't be wearing his armor. Let me just work that out. Okay, I think without his armor class would actually be a 14. So yes, it does.
All right.
So
Gonna do it as I've learned. in the
describe to me
temple.
what this looks like as you surge forward, fist blazing, and
Alright. there's gonna be a bright flash as the little flame kind of emanates from my hand, and I'm gonna it's gonna be a quick jab, or yeah, I guess it's a fire jab. Yeah, a quick jab right below his ribcage.
Okay. He kind of hisses with the pain as it impacts, and would you roll some damage for me?
All right. Whew. I'm sorry, Sarazar. I think to myself, wait, this is the wrong dice. We need what do we need? We need 1d8 plus 1. That is a 5. That took me a long time to do that math.
5?
Yes.
Alrighty. Let me add that in. Hang on. Okay. Just checking.
The plot twist: Neff kills Sarazar. This is the actual natural progression of the campaign.
Okay, so what happens is
Yes.
you watch as your fist connects,
Mhm.
and there's that flash of light you described, and the side of his clothing begins to catch a light. But Sarazar is, as you know, very much aware of the sort of tricks that spellcasters can have up their sleeves, and
Yeah.
the sort of like subtle nuances that a different school of fighting, monks, fighters, paladins, whatnot, usually apply to their punches. And he is going to parry your attack to reduce the damage against him by... Well, I think it's definitely going to be okay. But I'm just going to roll in case. I'm going to use this glittery dice that I got from Lily. 5 points. So actually, you watch as he kind of like immediately like grabs the shirt and like snuffs out the flame and ducks away and like covers himself again.
Oh
so
wait, I forgot to roll the fire damage. Wait a minute. It's 1d8.
Oh no.
That's for that. And then 3d6 fire damage. Oh shoot. Okay, sorry. 3d6 fire damage. I forgot to do that part entirely.
Cool.
That's a 2, a 4, and a 4. This is 10. 10 fire damage
10.
on top of that. So that's 15 damage total.
Okay, so then let me re-describe that situation.
My apologies.
Instead of reducing the flames, what he does is he grabs your hand and manages to push it away so that the impact is lessened, but he still goes out from the flame. All right. Throwing right back at you, he is going to use all of his attacks, which is, I believe, 2. His 2 attacks on you. Okay, does a 17 hit you?
Yes.
Okay. And does a 16 hit you?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I have one question for you regarding another thing
Yes.
that we talked about learning, which is that I could have a block. I could block 1 melee attack during combat as a reaction
With a key point.
with the key point. Yeah. Is that, can I use that at any point, or is there any limitations in that aside from the key point?
Let me just see. Online.
Does Saracen need to specify that he's dealing
Of course
non-lethal
he's not.
damage as well?
Of course he's killing Neff. Of course.
This is what it has come down to.
Of course. Sorry.
Hang on.
Sarasota is a fight to the death for both of our honors.
Hang on a second.
I feel like Neff and Sarazar are the types that would fight to the death in some other battle, though, against other foes. Foolishly.
Yeah, probably.
Concerned react.
Okay, hang on. That's what I was looking for. I just found the stat block I was looking for. Yep, a block adds 3 to your AC if you use your reaction. Then the attack, then what you do is you just add 3 to your AC and see if the attack would still hit you.
Ah, okay, cool. Can you send me that stat block as well? So,
I think I did, but I'll do it again.
okay, sweet. Thank you very much. I will use that
But the thing is, I made edits to the one I sent you, so I don't want to send you the one I found online again because that's obviously not the edited one. Let me
Okay.
have a look.
it wasn't in my character sheet originally, so I added just
I put
a
it
block
in.
in.
No, I sent. Where did I send you? I'm pretty sure I sent it to you on Discord. If I didn't, just for now, remember you've used both your key
+3 AC.
points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all good.
And you've had +3 AC. So if you can add +3 to one of those hits, would if you added +3 to either a 16 or a 17, would that have saved you?
Yes, in both accounts. I will do it to
Okay,
the second
so-
hit.
The second hit.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take 5 points of damage as you just feel Sarazur's fist just slam into the side of you. He pulls it slightly, and you could feel that whilst there was power there that there would have usually been, it's lessened, and it's less of an actual full force punch and more of just a tap to show that you, in this sort of sense, you would have been hit properly.
Okay.
So you take 5 points of damage, but it doesn't hurt too much. He's definitely pulling his punches for you.
Alright.
Alright. What would you like to do next?
Ooh, okay, how far are we taking this?
He said he would do it for a couple of rounds, so...
I can show off the only other thing which I can do now, which is a regular unarmed strike, which also does damage. So I'm going to attempt to hit him with an unarmed strike, now just a regular punch, not a fire jab of any kind. And since I hit him before in the... If he's just kind of thrown a punch at me, I'm going to see if I can kind of use that momentum to kind of punch back at him in a spot that he's now kind of more vulnerable in, maybe on his side or something like that.
Sure.
So I'll roll to see if this hits. Oh no, it's probably not going to hit. Oh, it may be. Does a... Oh no, it's probably not. It does a 10 hit.
No. The AC's a 14.
I think Neff just swings and misses.
As you come forward with that punch, he can tell it's going wide, and he kind of just you watch his hand just come out and redirect it and then use your own force against you, and I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Okay. Oh, my strength saving throw modifier is -1. Okay, let's go.
Oh, good.
Oh my god, that's a 6.
Okay. Sarazur just uses the force of your arm to flip you over and slam you back on the ground. He's sorry. That was a little bit heavier than I expected. You alright?
I'm okay.
Okay. I still got it.
Oh, that's cute. I love Sarazur.
Let me help you up. And he gives you a hand and he's like, well,
Thank you.
he looks to his sort of burnt shirt and he's like, I wasn't expecting that, but somehow I'm also not.
Yeah, sorry about that. That was a bit of an oversight.
Hurt. No, this is fine, I think. You've learned a lot. You've improved.
Neff nods vigorously. Thank you.
So, is this what you want to do from now on?
Wait, what do you mean?
This is what you want to keep training here?
Well, not forever. I think I've made maybe enough progress that I could pursue these endeavors elsewhere, should I choose to do so. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit awkward now being around Vanya, even though I know we're on good terms and all, but, bittersweet memories.
He kind of
Oh, right.
And then looks over and
You were...
Huh?
You weren't here for this, were you? I'm gonna catch him up on... I'm gonna sit down with him if he has time. We're just gonna have a quick catch up on everything.
Yes, he has time for you.
Alright.
Okay. You catch him up in censored detail, I'm sure.
In censored detail? Yes, Neff is not the type to divulge
Yeah, good. Thank God.
certain information.
I was gonna say. Okay. Telling him only what he needs to know. He nods along and says, well, I'm glad that you and Osha have found a way to make it work. But from what I understand, it was very difficult, and he kind of grimaces. I know that Nikir almost did a bad thing, and so did she, and I hope maybe that you all can all build yourselves up from here, rather than getting angry at each other and tearing each other down.
Yeah,
it's a difficult time. We need each other.
I agree. Especially now.
So...
Sorry, yes.
Oh no, I was just going to ask, do you have any plans to go back to Kelkarn soon?
Well, actually, I did have a thought that sort of sprang into my mind at some point a few months ago, which has been now in my mind for a little bit longer. And I think I'm going to send a letter to Brian and Bluey. And I don't think I don't suppose you know of a way that I could contact Slia, would you?
Loran has tried it, and I believe succeeded, but there's no way for her to contact us. So even if we do, it's difficult.
That's understandable. Well, I think I might kind of, sort of, want to go and have a meeting with a Sphinx soon. Ish.
Which Sphinx, Neff?
Oh, you know, the Sphinx of Death.
Hmm. This is taking me back at least 2 character arcs.
2 characters. I know it might sound like a lot, but I really think we might be able to resolve our differences. I have a really good feeling.
Do you, Neff?
When have I ever been... Okay, I shouldn't ask that question.
Don't say things you don't mean.
When have I ever not been earnest? Not that necessarily would help us in this situation.
Did you say honest or earnest?
Earnest.
Earnesty doesn't always translate well when talking to other higher beings like this. Also, it doesn't improve your armor class, and I think that's something very important to remember.
You know, I've been thinking about that. I've been mulling that over in my head a lot recently. And I really think that if the Sphinx did actually want to kill myself or Bluey, I don't think that we really stood much of a chance.
You think if the Sphinx wanted to kill you, you'd be dead already? Is what you're saying?
I think so.
I'm not trying to discourage you, because I know better than that by now. You and your team have a way of getting what you want, and my
getting ourselves into
role
interesting messes.
has definitely, yes, shifted to damage control rather than damage prevention.
Yes.
But Neff, I think I can teach you something here, which is that sometimes the people who want to kill you like keeping you alive. For reasons we may not know, but...
Okay, that's a good point.
Think of it like this. Karol is alive in custody, in the hands of many who would wish him dead. And he has been for many months now. It's much the same with you. The Sphinx might look at you and think, if only.
Maybe. You might have a point there.
But you're not convinced.
Well, I was sort of thinking, you know how sometimes maybe you might have a friend, and then you might tell a really, really bad, inappropriate joke, and they start to hate you, and then you don't apologize, and it starts to get worse, and they start stewing in their own thoughts about what you said. If you go and apologize and talk to them, then maybe it'll make things okay. I think that analogy works.
What you described was essentially apologizing just as a general concept. If you're saying that works, then yes, sometimes, certainly.
I'm not sure if I'm necessarily going to apologize, but I'm thinking about it. It might be a good idea. What do you think, Sarazar?
I think that your folly at the time was not your intention. Maybe your intentions were good, maybe. If we stretch the definition of the word. But I think it was your experience which truly let you down. This was your first time interacting with a being of this size with also that level of intellect, I believe.
That's true.
Well, then maybe you can prove what you learned by doing it right this time, or not going. But
Well,
doing it right, I guess, is also okay.
As far as doing it right is concerned, if I was to go, would you have any words of wisdom for me in the event that I decide to make that journey? I think
Do
last
not go
time
alone.
Yes. That is a hard one. I think I would have to run that by somebody who would be willing to go with me. Because ultimately anybody that comes with me on that journey would be endangering themselves.
This is it again, isn't it? In his mind, you can see it. It's written all over his expression. Hang on, let me read my notes to see whether he's needed in any other scenes from this point onwards. Yes. Nope. Yes, he's like...
I wouldn't dream of asking you, though, Sarah, sir.
Well, get dreaming, because I'm coming with you. If you're doing this, you're not doing this alone. Even if you bring someone you trust, if I'm not there, and something happened.
Are you sure?
I feel like, in all honesty, if I didn't go with you, then something definitely would happen.
Okay, in that case, I have one request to make, if you do choose to come along with me.
I am, so what is it?
When I converse with the Sphinx...
Yes?
Let me work my magic. I think I know exactly what to say. Or at least, I know in my heart what I must do. I think.
Does Osha know how to make those mansions, or was it just Sobek?
I don't think I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Do you have a way to get us out?
Yes.
Okay, then I trust you.
It was the same way that I caused the Sphinx to escape the first time.
Do you see the flaw in that plan?
Yes.
Mm.
So no.
It's good you're talking to someone who's competent about this.
I like how this is going. But maybe this time the Sphinx will be tired of it and he won't decide to come along with us.
That's not how we work.
But Sarazar, never fear, for it will not even come to that. If all goes to plan.
You understand this is not exactly how I do things.
Yes.
As your father, I feel like I need to put my foot down.
And as your daughter-in-law, I have to ask that you respect me as a strong, independent fighter who can take care of an entire Sphinx.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Yes.
I don't even know what conversation is.
He just beat you in unarmed combat. You can't take down a Sphinx.
I was going easy, Sarazar. Next time around, just you wait. Alright. Come on, 2 rolls, one after another. First one. Oh, this is bad. Oh my god, that was a really good roll. But okay, that's a 9 on the persuasion on disadvantage. Or okay, look, I have worked on myself in terms of keeping my my inner flame in check, and I've channeled it into my combat. So I won't let it loose this time, I promise you.
Someone once said, just because you overcome your past flaws doesn't necessarily mean you succeed. It doesn't mean you fail outright, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee that you come out of your next altercation with a Sphinx alive. So while I accept that you have trained yourself diligently and have made great strides towards perfecting the artistry of the fighting style that is taught here, I cannot allow you to go in with a half thought out plan.
Okay.
This is exactly what happened between Ulster and I. This is exactly what caused that. We think that we know what we're doing. We think that we know what we're up against, but sometimes experience lets us know that we don't actually know what we're up against. So, Neff.
Yes.
Take the next few days. I'm going to stay in the Feywild for a little longer. And we will come up with a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe come to the Dahane estate. There's not really anybody there at the moment other than myself and my thoughts, and Nick here. Oh, don't come to the Dahane estate. Come, I will stay here with you. And we can plan.
Okay, do you mind if I bring Osha along as well? I wanted to ask her if she'd be willing to assist me.
The more the merrier.
She's been very supportive throughout all of this kind of craziness. Also, I think she has out of the two of us, she definitely has the level head. So maybe she could provide some insight into my crazy ideas.
Let's see, shall we?
Alright.
Okay. Alright, so I think over the next few days, you two formulate a plan together. And Cyrus's idea is that you have a code word which lets you and Osha know that you're casting the spell that can get you out of there without letting the Sphinx know.
Okay.
To the best of your ability. So I'll give you the time until your next scene starts to come up with what that code word is and tell everyone.
Can it be a code phrase?
Yes.
Cool.
Now, you already know what it is, don't you?
I do.
What is it?
My leg is starting to hurt.
Okay.
Subtle.
Fair enough. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share about the rest of your 4th month in the Feywild?
I would spend most of the rest of this month just polishing up the training to kind of just finish it off and talk to Vanya and kind of, say goodbye, because I think at this point, or at least close to the end of this month or at the end of the start of the next month, I'll kind of leave. So I'll let Vanya know what my plans are there. I won't tell Vanya about the Sphinx thing. Because this is it's too much, but I will discuss it a lot with Osha over the course of the rest of the month. And aside from that, there isn't much else that I want to do.
Cool, understandable. Great. So next, let me scroll. There we go. All right. From one fight straight to another. Slya. Slya? You get punched in the face immediately. No. You okay?
I need a minute.
Yep.
Like 60 seconds.
For sure. Do you want us to do a different scene? Okay. All right. Hey guys. My name is Emma. And how are you?
Hi, Emma Sensei.
Oh no. Immediately distressed.
Well, would it be any better if it was like, "Good morning, Miss Emma"?
That would be worse. I am not a miss. I'm a sensei.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh. hard. Like the younger you are, the longer you take to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, I remember this. There's assemblies.
Oh, I
in
saw
the
one of my
classes.
kids in the shop. It's one of my sixth graders who graduated, and
Aw.
she was really cute. She was like, "Emma Sensei," and I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "Ah," and I was like, "Ah." It was great. That's what it's like. Okay,
It's cool. It's like you're a celebrity. You're a local hero. Teaching
Stop
the
it.
the youth of tomorrow.
okay, rightio, boys. Okay, so Slayer. That's your scene. Just my coughing. You're like, who coughed? And then it ends.
Yeah.
In the wake of Loran's sending, you are faced with a difficult situation. You know that Loran and Saraza need whatever information you can provide. But you are unable to contact them. In the face of this, as we discussed in your time skip session, you take it upon yourself to research independently the sisterhood as best you can and answer the questions which are most pressing to you. So, how would you like to start your research?
Slya starts out in the library, kind of
Mhm.
learning as much as she can
Mhm.
until she hits a roadblock where she is told, basically, any additional information is either in the restricted section of the library or she has to, which she doesn't have access to. So she's either going to have to give up on this line of research or find and befriend somebody who knows more about the sisterhood.
And funnily enough, remembering your conversation with Arcadia and the fight you saw at the sort of arena attached to the church, of Lolth, you know that Vishar herself was delivered to Lolth by the Sisterhood. Now, what is your tactic here? How do you approach Vishar?
Well, after 4 months in the Underdark, Slya understands that the proper way to kind of at least earn enough of a conversation would be to attempt to challenge Vishar in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And-
Hand-to-hand combat. How do you
Yep.
feel about that? So,
Slya, with her 0 modifier, is like, yes, great.
good stuff. So, with
Sorry,
that
0
in
damage.
mind, yes. With that in mind, you make your way, Arcadia gleefully in tow, looking far more interested than she ever has before, with regards to anything you've ever done. You make your way to the arena where you do see Vishar is in the middle of a sparring match with a shorter male drow. The male drow is disfigured. He is missing one eye entirely and has gouged out his face from cheek down to collarbone. And on top of that, that looks like an old wound. On top of that, he is bloodied. He is going in hard, unrelenting in his cascade of punches and kicks against Vishar. He comes in with an uppercut and manages to land a blow on her jaw, but she takes it in turn and using her head just like whacks down. You hear this unbelievable crack resonate through the arena, and there is a ooh from the crowds. It's not often that people come to watch the actual training process, but when Vishar is fighting, they come out in full force. The male drow manages to come back from the attack. He catches himself before falling over completely, steadying. And he takes long look at Vashar, assessing her weaknesses, grimacing, finding none.
Yeah.
He just shakes his head, growls beneath his breath, and goes in again. 2 punches this time, but she saw it coming. Her knee connects, and you hear a crack in his ribs, and this one sends him down to 1 knee. The momentum of his other punch is still carrying through, and she manages to grab it in her fist and just forces him down so that she's looming over him on his back. She just grins and releases his hand. The moment his back is fully planted on the ground. And he's lost, because once the enemy is downed, the fight is over. This is not a blood sport. It's a training exercise. So, as the body, semi-conscious, of the male drow is dragged off, she turns to a line of waiting combatants who appear to just be volunteers. You know how this works. People who feel like they need to brush up their training skills, their fighting prowess, can volunteer to train. Some people are put in mandatory training. Male drow, who are often sent off to the hunting parties, are recruited in groups of a dozen and train here. So there's a large line of combatants, but Arcadia kind of leans over and just says, if you challenge her, I think that she probably will have to just accept. Just saying. Because it's you.
Can I insight check that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that is a 13 plus 9.
13 plus 9, good, yes. So with
Anything
that,
plus a 9, my brain does. No.
it's 22.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, with a 13 plus 9, you kind of feel that maybe she hasn't ever seen anyone do that before, but she was really interested to see whether you would be able to do it. You know that it's not uncommon for challengers to appear. A challenger has appeared in these matches, but challenging Bashar is kind of what she is interested in.
Yes, Slay will do it. Slay will just kind of like step up
Mm-hmm.
and instead of like proper, like she's seen challenges happen before, so it's like would she know what the proper like
Yep.
throwing the glove down basically kind of thing.
It is essentially that.
Okay.
Taking a clasp from your hair and just throwing it at their feet. I assume that you would have, in preparation for this, knowing what you had to do, come in more freed. Yeah, slightly more like maneuverable clothing than what perhaps my art drew you in / what Slayer usually wears. So
I mean, she's only got those robes, I think. So
no, you would have also had training gear. Like all of the things you needed to live, you would have been provided with. But those robes are just kind of like the standard like uniform. Because like when you go to school, you have like school uniform and then you got your PE kit.
Yeah. So she's got her PE kit on now.
Yeah. It's like a red tracksuit. Just like 2 racing stripes up each arm. It's like Church of Lolth crest emblazoned on the chest. Everyone else is like, oh, do we have to do laps, miss? And they're like, yep. That's what my PE class was like. All the asthmatic kids are gathered together.
We have to do throwdowns.
Yeah. Burpees! Right. So, in all seriousness, in your training gear, you make your way down to the arena and you approach. Would you like to describe how that looks? How does Slayer feel at this moment?
Slayer is nervous because she's not used to physical hand-to-hand in terms of like combat. She generally has a more like defensive style fighting.
Mm-hmm. For sure. That can be, you know, that sort of style can also be used in these fights to your benefit. But yeah, you know that what is laying ahead of you is no tall task. So you approach, and as she is sort of just like wiping a smear of blood off her face, she looks over and eyes you, just watching. She's waiting. What do you do?
Yeah, Slaya throws down her clasp.
You hear just silence. Whatever words were being spoken are immediately sucked away, and it's heavy. And in unison, you can almost feel dozens of eyes turn to you, look down to the clasp, and immediately turn up to Vishar. And Vishar just looks at it. And looks at you. Beckons you forward.
Also, while Slaya is nervous, she's trying her best to kind of like have this like little subtle smile.
Make a... What kind of check should we do with this? What is your... Are you trying to come across as confident in place of being nervous? Right, then make a performance or a deception you can choose.
Let's see. Surprise, the modifier is the same.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 25.
25. Okay. So, she kind of is like turns her head slightly as if like this was unexpected, certainly. Your expression even more so. You're coming across as, you can tell, at ease, and that's not something she's used to seeing. All right. So, you stand, you know how these fights work. You stand about 10 feet away from each other now, opposite sides of the arena, and you wait for there's a umpire. What's it called? Umpire? No.
Referee?
Yeah. There is someone who acts almost like a referee in these fights to just, their main goal is to watch form, act as like a second teacher alongside Vishal, because when she's sparring, she can't always give accurate feedback or see 100% what techniques are being done wrong. So there is a sort of another teacher here who acts as referee, who kind of watches, and the two of you are just staring at each other, an unbroken line of focus, and you hear a chime in the corner of your ear. And you know that means the battle begins. So will you please roll me initiative? So much sparring today. Oh wow, that's very, very good. Okay. What did you roll?
I rolled a nat 20!
Oh dang! That's way better. Okay, she got a 19. Okay, so 20, how many? Just curious.
Oh, 20 plus 1.
21. Okay. Okay. That means you're up first. Vishar, the chime goes, but Vishar doesn't move. So, it's your turn.
Slaya's gonna initiate combat as best she can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
She's not used to going first.
No.
Except for when it's running away. Then she's really great at it.
Okay. What do you do?
Since it is hand to hand, like there's no...
You could also take your turn if you wanted to cast whatever protection spells on yourself. I think so long as you're not using it against someone, that is acceptable. It is shown a little. It's considered a little bit cowardly, but
Yeah, Slaya's not gonna punk out. I think she's just gonna go for it.
mm-hmm. Okay.
She's come this far with the deception. She's gonna keep going with it.
Okay. So, would you like to describe what you do? Oh, you're frozen for me.
Yeah, I am frozen for me too.
Okay, great. That's fine.
Sorry, there was a gift.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah, Slay's gonna, I guess, go for an attack. Yeah, I know, right? I had to turn the screen off because I couldn't stop giggling.
It's beautiful. That's really what it's like.
Yeah. All the time.
Canon Vishar is a pillar man.
Anyway, so yeah, she's gonna go for an attack. Like she's seen with the other challenges.
Okay. You know how to attack?
Yeah.
Would you like to roll an attack?
Yeah.
Okay. Please roll an attack.
It's a 12.
12.
Yeah.
Would you like to describe what you think this looks like, and then I'll tell you what it actually looks like?
Slya's in danger.
Oh no! Ulster pierced through reality.
I think she kind of gets a little bit like her inexperience probably shows in that as she approaches, she's like, I'm not sure how to start this kind of thing.
Mhm.
And I guess attempts to initiate like a grapple, maybe.
Okay, so what you want to do is not punch but grapple. So what you then that roll, you want to change what you're doing from
maybe.
a punch. Okay, that's fine. This is the first time you're doing a proper hand-to-hand, so it's okay. I'll take that. So I then have to do a strength. Let's do athletics because it's very good. Oh, So I think. Wait, I've completely forgotten how to do a grapple. It's a contest. It's a you can. Oh fuck! I forgot how to do D&D. Grapple. D&D.
So the number you're rolling against, in which case it's a 7.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of go, I think, to link your arm like around Vashar and pull her down to your level, and she just shakes you off. It's like, and you stumble back, and you have to catch yourself and stop yourself falling over from the force of it. It's that strong.
I think the grappler has to make
A strength
athletics check.
Yep, they rolled an 18.
Oh, and the grappler.
I rolled it before you. I rolled it before.
Okay. The grappler can
told me.
do acrobatics or athletics. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But,
They definitely chose
Oh.
athletics. No, it's too late.
Well, the difference in it was I rolled an 8. The unarmed strike does have a bonus to it. The athletics or strength is a -1 though. So
Cool.
that's the difference.
So Vashar is going to punch you twice.
Yep.
Okay. 26 and 21.
Yeah.
Cool. So in those moments where you stumble back and you kind of blink to like reel from the force of that punch, you open your eyes and you just see her right there in front of you and just wham bam, thank you ma'am. You feel 2 fists connect, one with your abdomen and the other just with the side of your chest. And it's almost like you feel, sometimes, you know, when your bones like shift around inside, you know, they're not breaking, but like there's like, they crack.
It's
you
not
feel
good.
that. You feel them click almost out of place, and it takes the wind out of you. And that is 10 points of damage.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, boy. She pulls back ever so slightly, not moving out of your reach, but she is standing a little further away, very calm. What you did not faze her at all. With that,
no.
would you like to go into your next round?
Yep. And Slaya knows she's not allowed to use magic during this, so
Yep.
yep.
But you can choose to concede when you want to. If you feel
Yes.
like you've done enough, you can choose to if you feel like you're getting into Danger Mouse territory.
Yeah, we're not in danger territory yet.
No, I
She's
know.
gonna
Give it time.
she's gonna probably go for it. She's gonna
Okay.
attempt to go for 3 rounds is her goal.
Okay.
Can I last 18 seconds against Vishar?
Mm-hmm. You also know that when your back hits the ground, you're down.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh,
What do you do?
she's I think she's gonna attempt to go in for to get into the rhythm and try and punch back now.
Mm-hmm.
Can
All right then. She can do that. What
Yeah.
I would like is for it to just be like, you tell me what you do and then you immediately do. So just tell me what you do and then immediately roll your.
She's going to go for a punch.
Thank you.
Oh no. That's a nat 20!
Oh dang! Okay.
Different die, nat 20!
Okay. So refocusing yourself. What is Sly thinking about as she makes this next move? What is it that brings you to that point where you're like, I just have to do it?
Kind of this understanding of, okay, this is how this works. Now that I'm here and I understand what I'm doing, she's gonna attempt to, throw the Superman punch, basically.
Okay. Focusing your mind, knowing that this is the information you need. This is the only way you're going to get it. And you need
Yeah.
to help your friends. Channeling all of those thoughts, filtering out all the distractions around you. You move forward. It's almost as if you can feel Bluey's own hand guiding yours with her fighting prowess. You try and picture everything you've ever seen Sarazor do, everything you've ever seen Bluey do, all of your friends who can punch better than you can, all of the times Allstare has turned into a T-freaking Rex. You're like, this is it. Wham bam. Thank you, ma'am. The punch connects with her jaw. You didn't even mean to aim it there, but it just ends up there, and you feel her teeth slam together, and her head whips back so far that you can swear her head would just go clean off. But she whips back, and there's a renewed vigor in her eyes. How much damage does she take from that?
You see, I don't know, because she shouldn't actually take any. It should be more like a stunner than a real damager, you know?
Your unarmed strikes do no damage.
None.
Fuck.
Should have given Slay the belt.
That's why when she does touch attacks, it's an inflict wounds, not an actual unarmed strike usually.
Because it's a natural 20, I'm going to have Vishar make a con save to see if she is stunned for the next round.
Okay.
She's going to have... no. Would she have advantage? It was a natural 20. I feel like that's a bit rude. No, it's going to be straight. Straight con save. 17 plus many. Oh, it's very good. Yeah, so 25 for the con save. So, you kind of pull back, and your hand hurts because that was harder than you've ever punched before. And Vishar just from right here, and you see her lip quirks ever so slightly. Whether it's a snarl or a smile, you don't quite know. But she is not gonna hold back on you this time. All right.
I think that nat 20 is kind of what Slyan needed.
Oh
though.
shit! She actually got 29 on that save, right? Because she has a +4 as well. Great. I'm just checking. Okay. Okay, so Vashara is going to, this time, take a step back and bring both her hands around and just clasp your head and just push you down. And she just doesn't break eye contact with you the whole time. And it's interesting because like it almost feels like she's just tapping your shoulders and just slow descent, trying to send you to your knees. I need you to go into one of them good contests with me. You can serve me acrobatics or athletics as a check against her roll.
Love to do some acrobatics.
You're beating a 18.
No, it's a 17.
Oh, close though. You kind of like bring your hands up, shaking to like clasp her own and like try and push back. And she like can feel it. She can feel you. You refuse to go down. But she manages to, in those seconds, push you down to your knees and you are grappled. So, your next turn, you're either going to be shooting at disadvantage or you can try to escape the grapple.
I would like to attempt to escape the grapple.
All right, let's do it.
That's a
Contest.
Strength or
Strength save.
Strength save.
Yep. Is it a natural 20?
It is. It is.
Oh
a
dang!
natural
I'm
20.
so glad this is going how I wrote it should in the in the doc. I was like, if impressed, all the other stuff happens. If not, oh no. Great, cool. You're impressive. So right, you're down. You're on your knees, and you're like pushing against her hands, and she's like looking at you like, "Yep, this is where you freaking belong." On the floor, and she's pushing you down. She doesn't say that obviously, but like that's what her expression is saying. She's pushing you down further, and you can feel your spine bending and clicking, and it's painful. Grabbing her hands, how do you escape this grapple?
Well, Vashar is very tall, and I would like to go through legs.
Yeah, you kind of like grab her hands, and like you manage to push up enough to like scramble your feet from beneath you, so you're like in a crouched position, and you just go whoop, down through her legs. And you like crawl out the other side, and you hear a
just crab walking out.
Yeah. You're gonna be stuck. Well,
yeah.
You're gonna be prone, so you're gonna have to stand up.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Slya doesn't want to like get out of like melee range with her. She just wants to get, I don't know, behind her.
Okay, you managed to scramble up, and you got like your arms in front of you. All right, very good. So next, Vashar is going to this time exact same thing as she did the first time. She doesn't like the fact that you're trying to push against her, and she is going to just slam at the sides of your head twice. A 17 and an 11.
Wait, fix something quick.
Hi, cat. How you doing? Oh, that was so cute.
Yeah, I needed to unequip shield stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yeah, so yeah, 17 hits.
11?
No.
Oh, good. Okay. Wet. Okay. She just looks at you like, and just backhands. Like you feel just like blood like burst into your mouth as your like tongue like gets slammed between your like jaw as like you just flip to the side, and it hurts your neck. It's like you're getting whiplash from the force of it, and you stumble to the side to keep yourself upright. It's your go. What do you do?
Can Slya attempt to get around behind her and make a slightly more medical aimed strike, like a kidney shot.
Yeah, sure. I'll allow that. That could be fun. So let's see. Do you want to just do me a medicine check? And if you can, then if you get higher than, let's say, a 13, I will give you advantage on the strike. Not yeah.
That's a 14 on the die.
Nice.
So.
Okay, so you know, even though you're dazed, you know where you should be hitting. So you move around into a more advantageous position. Are you kidding?
I'm not. It is.
Oh my god.
And here's the kicker is that I'm rolling 6 different die. So each roll I'm doing a different d20. The irony is that without that advantage, it was a nat 1.
Fuck. What you're doing here isn't like you, but you're picking up what the others are doing. You're picking up what you've seen up until this point, what you've seen from Vishal, what you've seen from your friends, and it's that desperation, knowing that this is the only thing you need right now. This is the only way you can help, that is managing to give you that extra edge. Even with your natural 20s, these punches aren't amazing. They're not doing anything really in terms of damage, but the pure motivation, the curiosity behind them, the determination, there is no hesitation in any of your strikes, and that is what is coming through, and that is what is catching Vishal off guard. She is used to her opponents being scared of her. She is used to her opponents fearing her and pulling their punches at the last moment for fear of what she would do to them, and you are not like that at all. And she feels that keenly when you let this punch connect, and it hurts you more than it hurts her.
Yeah,
you know that much, but she is stunned by it nonetheless, by the audacity and by the execution. So because I did this last time, and I feel like actually no, last time I did have her do a stunned thing, but now that she's sort of coming to expect this from you, I think it's sort of that the idea that these sort of punches could physically do anything to her is sort of not really there anymore. Now that she knows, she's not caught by surprise. But the crowds are interested. You can feel eyes on you, following your every move. Interesting. She is going to attempt to grapple you again. And this time, she ain't taking any prisoners. So I need you to roll against her. Pick acrobatics or athletics as she tries. Oh, it's not good.
18.
No, she got an 8. She moves forward to grab you, and you just scramble out of the way. All right, it's your turn.
I think Slya's going to kind of attempt to do the same thing. Is she's going to kind of circle around behind her and kind of keep.
Bearing in mind that the way to win is to grapple and get them on their backs, right? Just remember.
Yeah.
You're still gonna.
Actually, I guess she will. She's going to go for a grapple in that case.
Yep. Just because you know that that's how the fight ends.
Yeah.
When you get someone round, the first grapple will take them down to their knees, or will get you in there, and the next grapple is slamming them down. You kind of have to succeed twice in a row. So, what am I rolling? My d20?
Yep, that's a grapple, and
16.
18 with the -1.
Oh shit.
So
she's shocked that her grapple didn't work, not because you're stronger than her, but because you're more, probably not more dexterous on the boards, but again, there is something in you that has been awakened by this fight, and you manage to pull her down. And okay, she is on her knees, and there is just like, what the fuck, from like all around the room. She's going to use her action to try and escape the grapple. So that is a wait. Let me just check. Hey, how do you escape a grapple again? Strength save, yeah, strength save. How is, or is that strength contest?
Hold on.
I'm looking at the combat thing on D&D. Why can't I remember? Has it been that long since we've done combat? Are you serious?
No, we don't do grapples that often. The escaping requires an action.
Yep.
You have to succeed on an athletics or an acrobatics check contested
Yeah, it's a
by
contest. Okay.
the athletics check made.
Yep.
Oh no. I guess a new.
Okay, she got a 15.
Sorry.
Yeah, mine was a 7, so.
Okay, she manages to pull out, and she is going to immediately just like grasp your head and like yank you down by your hair with her. 14 plus 4, 18 plus 4 is 22.
Mine was a 17 plus 1, so nope.
Okay, you are pulled down on the ground. All right, are you attempting to escape again?
Yep.
Okay. 5 plus. Okay, 14.
8.
She's going to try one more time. If she can get you down this time, then it's over for you.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, that wasn't good. Another 14.
That's another 8.
8. Holding you by the hair, looking at you like you thought you could do it. She just throws you back, rolling all of her body weight over you, grabbing your hands in her own as she slams you down, and your head whacks against the hard, solid ground, and you're seeing stars. It is a blur of movement, and you barely know where you are by the end of it. All you know is you see Bashar hovering over the top of you, eyes narrowed. She's won. But something in you tells you that you might have left at least a bit of an impression. Okay, we'll get to the rest of that scene once we've done a little bit more with the others. Okay. Who is next? Okay. Bluey. Hi. How are you?
I need to go to the bathroom. I'm so sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
Sorry.
That's fine. Let me just check. I'll check the other scenes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna hang out here while you're checking stuff. How are you doing?
Cool. I'm good. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Lily. We actually did your month 4 scene at the end of last session because I thought it would be a dramatic ending, and bad. Don't worry. Soon, everyone. All the Dehanes will be together again, including the game on Dehanes.
Woo.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited to see more of that family.
Legit.
So I just had a terrible, terrible thought. If I send you the thing I wrote, then you'll definitely be seeing more of them. No! I'm not gonna send it. No.
Whoa, why not? Emma!
You can buy our book series when it comes out. It's gonna be great.
Pay me. I'll send it to you.
No!
Come on, I've got your entire book series on pre-order already. 20 copies.
I have been betrayed. I'm gonna have confidence when it gets published, I'm gonna buy all of them. So fight
Hell
me.
Yeah. I will do the same. And I'm gonna come to your first
Roll
signing.
initiative to grab books. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like it's the end of
Like
the
it-
world.
hoarding bran flakes like it's toilet paper.
Oh my goodness.
No, better than toilet paper.
Mm. Alrighty-o. Hello, Anna. Are you ready to rumble?
Rumble! Yeah, yes, I am.
You, IT, sparring now. No, no sparring. No sparring today.
Our first fight in the relationship, but it's physical punches. Oh no! But also with the agreement that we won't kill each other. I'm sorry.
Yes. Before the fight begins, you're like, "I'm not going to kill you today," and IT's like, "I'm not going to kill you either," and then fight begins.
Wham!
Wham bam! Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Yes. Number 2. Sorry. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Hello.
So, as the 4th month of your parting from the party carries on, you dedicate yourself to research. You make your way through the libraries of Melas, the Temple of Bahamut, all the way down to Ironstone, and then to Eldrelith, picking up tidbits of information on your way. Most of your research pertains to dragons, and you find out initially a lot of what you already knew, varying accounts of it, some combating histories, but mostly telling the same story, that 500 years ago or so, there was a dragon plague, which was ended by the sorcerers of Leobaros and Leobaros himself. Sorry, the paladins of Leobaros and Leobaros himself. The group managed to contain the last dragons to the region Eldrelith. And while many were expelled, one was caught within a field of magic which prevented it from leaving. In its attempts to leave, it was petrified and fell to the ground. And that is known as the petrified dragon Eldrelith, of its namesake Eldrelith's Watch. As you discover more and more information, however, you get further back in time. What the world was like before the Dragon Plague. It was difficult for people. Of course, adventurers had far taller tasks at hand than simply fighting goblins and fighting humankind, which is what you tend to see people doing these days. They fighted, I'm good at English. They would protect and fight towns from dragons, and fight those who came too close. Some were good, certainly, but more often than not, only the bad ones would make contact with humankind. The good ones kept to themselves. Where the good ones went, nobody really knows. Most historians assume that alongside the metallic dragons, the chromatic dragons were also trapped on a different plane of existence, where we do not know. Leobaros and his paladins perished. Mostly. Some live on. Some live still in a prayer. One of the former heads of the army, a woman named Willow, was one of his paladins, recently retired and retreated to the Green Sea. You kind of determined that speaking to her would be very difficult. The other, who still lives, is Ulster's mother.
Wait. One of the paladins?
Yeah, well, paladins was like a broader term for it. They're just fighters, people who came together to fight these dragons years ago.
But like 502 years ago.
It's a long time ago.
Wow. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It tracks,
Oh my
boys.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
Mhm. Elves.
Jeez.
That's all I have to say.
Oh my god.
That was something that came up back in season 1, like ages ago. But I barely even remember the session that it came up in. But I remember it being like everyone got cool weapons, but like I don't think anybody, or like everyone got cool weapons that I tried to design for them, and I realized they were super OP, but I kept them in anyway because. But yeah,
Oh my gosh.
it was good shit. You learn all of this information, but a lot of it, again, is fairly common knowledge. But as you go into Eldralith and you learn more about dragons, you also come across something else. A different stem of your research. The concept of dragons leads you to ideas of the arcane and studies of what magic it was exactly that Leoberos used to contain the dragons and where it sent them. And with him dead, his body perished, it was impossible for anyone to really determine exactly what the answer was to that question.
Right.
So people theorized. And those theories lead you to research into a specific material known as painite, which takes its form on the material plane as a gem and acts as a magnetic core for magic. Why is it relevant? Well, a lot of the, not materials, items that Leoberos and his sorcerers used were made from the stuff. And it seems to have the effect of broadening the reach of magic, increasing its scope, strengthening it. So that spells that used to perhaps only affect certain types of creatures or certain places can be changed. Exactly how they work, though, is way too difficult for you to comprehend, and also too difficult for Courage or IT to comprehend. And it is whilst the two of you are poring over tomes in the halls of Eldralith that you realize you might need some expert opinions to help you out. IT's looking through the tomes, scratching through, feeling the awful eyes of Hester, the librarian, on her back as she like peers nose in her book, and she's like, Bluey, I don't understand anything written here.
Well, I mean, it's a gem.
Yeah, that's about all I can really gather.
I mean, well, if Sharp Pistol Game On was there,
she'd probably know best.
Yes, and I've met her before,
Mm.
twice,
Mm.
I think. And she
Yeah.
was pretty good, all
Yeah.
things considered. Right, so we have her. I don't know. Maybe I'd feel weird asking this place if they could help us, especially if this is sort of sensitive information, maybe, or is it? I don't know.
Well, what if we... Hang on. So, what if we go and talk to Ulster, your friend? If he knows... he knows his mother, I'm sure, then he might be able to help us. Or even if we can't get to her, we can... I'm sure you have other magic friends. Didn't you have... Wasn't there an Arcanist who lived here once you told me about? Ender? Didn't he live in this palace, even?
He did, yeah.
Wow, Emma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I don't think he took us to. He didn't take us to his lab, did he? He just took us
You know
around
where it
the
is?
library. But I know where it is. How do I know where it is?
Should we? Because there was an entrance in his office.
Ah, okay,
So
right.
this is like session 15. It's a long
Okay.
time ago.
Wow. Okay. But I don't know how it
Mind.
is now, or should we go in there?
Well, let's.
I can't exactly ask him. I can ask
No.
Anna.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm starting to think that maybe having all of the people who know lots of different things in lots of different places is kind of difficult.
Yeah. Well, like some of them need a break and
Yeah.
need to be home. So
Mm.
I think that's okay.
Well,
yeah.
Well, considering that after this library we've pretty much dried up all the information over here, why don't we go to wherever your friends are, and maybe they can help us.
Okay. Should I ask Anna? Oh, Do you know
remember?
how was Anna the last time I left
Yeah.
White Cliff Castle?
Anna was just doing her usual taking care of Ender's body, because it still needs to be taken care of and not kind of die. You know that while she is a very powerful magic user, that she is fairly preoccupied at the moment and probably wouldn't be too much help. But you also know that from your correspondence with not Bluey, oh God, you're Bluey, from your correspondence with Ulster and what you've learnt about Ashisel, that in that place there are many mages and there's a larger library, one of the largest the largest in the world as far as you know, which could probably, if you can get into it, be the answer you need to all of your problems. Research involved problems, that is.
I think. Well, Brian's at the High Solarian.
You remembered.
In a Schissel. And there's a lot of books there, I think, and a lot of old people. A lot of people who know about magic, I think. At least it sounds like it.
Never been to a Schissel.
I haven't. I don't think I have.
You haven't,
no. Okay. No. But I mean, if Brian's still there, he could help take us around, and also like, I don't know if the Queen's if she's busy, then I don't know. We could find out from him, and then it wouldn't be like an awkward, go all the way to the Maasai, and
yeah. I also think it would be just difficult to go and talk to a queen, just because we want to.
And it's probably personal stuff too. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
having Ulster there would be very, very useful to us. And she kind of leans in and just says, I just think, and like you hear a shh, and like Hester is like hovering over the two of you, like,
sorry.
And I just like, yeah. And like IT brings the book up and just like leans forward and just says, I just think that all of this information feels incomplete, and maybe if we want answers, we need more heads than just two.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I think it'd be just cute to go on another trip together. I really enjoyed our one to Calcutta.
That does sound very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try and send a message to Brian.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. I also trust Moms as well to keep an eye on the situation, Melas, especially if the Winterbrands and Anna are there too. I think that's probably fine, right?
Yeah. Does he know how to get to me? I'm sorry. Does he have
I think
means
he
that
has.
would
Yes, he
use?
he out of game. He has ways to contact you. I think he has
Okay.
ways to contact you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, he did. Yeah. Sorry, I forget things.
Okay. All right then. Let's do this. And she yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Just
First, let's check out these books. She picks up her books, and, waddles
Okay.
over to the counter, and Hester's like, "You have to make a library card first." IT's like, "Oh no,
make one.
yeah, library cards." You spend
Get
the
a
next
bit of
10
paper and
minutes. Oh fuck!
Mm.
You
Here it
spend the
is.
next 10 minutes, thank you, making library cards, and then you can take out your books. And then, where are you traveling from in Prayer? You have teleportation circles in Ironstone, in a Equinox is through the Green Sea. If you asked Pikotaro, the prince, he might be able to send you.
Yeah, check in with Pikotaro, even though I barely know him. I just
Okay.
know there's I've
Well, you have
seen him once. He's ruling guy,
Upon presenting your seal, which puts you as a member of the Assisters, a official group who is allowed to travel via a teleportation circle, while you do not get to the prince himself, you are taken to the necessary places to send you on your way. Telling them your location is a Schissel. You can go at any time you wish. But as you leave, and you're walking away, you pass the entrance to a corridor. A corridor which you know has two paths, a staircase leading up and a staircase leading down. Peering into it, because you remember, oh yeah, this is the direction of Ender's living quarters. Peering into it,
which was up, and
living quarters was down.
Was down.
The upper staircase is open to the sky, as if whatever was there had been wrenched from the archway and disappeared.
Oh, gosh.
You look around and there is no rubble. Nothing. Just a staircase which goes up 4 steps and nowhere. Not even a ruin left behind.
Oh my gosh.
Make an intelligence check.
Intelligence. I think it's a 12. Yes.
That was really cute. I think it's a 12. Yes. Yes, it is indeed a 12. You remember hearing from Cass stories of Anna and herself pulling cards from the deck of many things. Of which Anna pulled the Ruin card, and all of her worldly possessions were taken from her, leaving her with nothing. Anything that was in her name, gone. The living situation upstairs, nowhere to be seen. A section of the castle disappeared. But the lab went to Ender. So while the living quarters are gone, the lab is still down there. If you wanted to have a look, now is your chance.
I think unconsciously Bluey will sort of be muttering out loud, but the card was ruined, but there's not even ruin left. And then and then she'll have a little check if there's anybody perhaps looking This
There's
way?
no one. Make a perception check for me. Perception.
Mm-hmm. 17?
Ooh, good. Yeah. Looking around, you see two guards ahead at the end of the corridor, but they're not looking your way. They're talking to each other, just laughing. Not particularly concerned.
But the other way, or I'd have to pass them if I
You wouldn't
wanted
have to
go
pass them. You're right by the corridor now.
Oh gosh. Okay. I know I said I maybe would have wanted to message Anna.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I mean, it's right there.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's be adventurers and delve into the dungeons.
I'd be okay with this, Ender. And make a stealth there. Just.
You want a stealth? Yeah, sure. We'll both roll stealth. Natural 20 from IT. IT like.
Oh shit!
Disappears.
Where'd you go?
I'm on your back, and you can feel like her clinging to your cloak.
Okay. 18.
18,
That's
pretty good. Sneaking your way down. Go on.
Might also just cast some detect good and evil with a little help from the sword. Just a little.
What's the range on that spell?
I think it's. Oh wait, hang on. I don't know if it's 10 or if it's 30 feet. It is 30 feet. You know, if a place or object within 30 feet of you has been magically consecrated or desecrated, and also aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead, and where it's located within 30 feet. So, I hope that doesn't throw a little spanner in the way. Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Nope, you're fine. Okay, so anyway, there's nothing down there. There's a giant aboleth right in front of you. All of that was just DM pandering to make you feel uncomfortable. No, so your sword lights up. You clasp the hilt of it, that blue sort of like soft glow, guiding you down the staircase. Turning around, you see there are 2 doors. The first leads to the office you were in. And it's a door which it appears to be unlocked. You've been in there before. It's fairly dusty, the handle of it, because as you know, this room is pretty much unused. You remember this is where you discovered Elijah's journal, where initially the deck of many things was hidden. And if you wish to go in there, you can have a peek. But you don't feel any evil aberrations, undead, nothing like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ahead of you is one more door. This time you notice it, whereas before you didn't really pay it too much mind because you were being led down here, and at the time you were being led to the office in particular. This doorway is made out of a stone which almost blends into the rest of the walls. There is a faint line marking it as a door, with, in the center of it, a small keyhole with a key in it, actually. And it's just there.
Maybe we'll go in the office that way first.
Okay.
I mean, I've no idea what's in there, but I have a feeling, knowing that was just an office, and not knowing what that is, I feel like it'd be better if we were caught. Although I don't want to be. That would be the better place. Okay, sorry. Yep. And I'll open the handle.
Yep.
With a little free hand. Quietly as possible, if possible.
Yep.
The deftest touch.
Okay. Would you like to sleight of hand opening the door?
Yeah, just yeah. What do I have in that? 15.
Yep, that's fairly good. So you slowly open the door. Pushing it open, you see it's a fairly unchanged office. Almost similar, almost the same to what came before it. What, that doesn't make any sense. Almost the same as when you last saw it, is what I meant.
Right, yeah, sorry. Oh, I was probably processing the words to realize. Anyway, sorry.
This way. I'm talking 10 miles a minute. That's not even that long.
I'm thinking with like a changing acceleration, shall we say.
Okay, so what do you do?
Well, if I mean, is there any notes out, like visible that she doesn't want to rummage through things yet, or probably not at all. Just like a little light peek, because this probably isn't.
It is almost exactly as you remember it. Make a perception check or an investigation check. Sorry, investigation.
Yeah. Oh no, it's 2.
2. Nope. IT kind of pulls on your arm and just says, after looking around a little while, just says, I don't think this is the lab. I think it might be that other door outside. Should we?
Okay.
I feel a bit weird coming in here.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Remembering the dust on the door, you get the impression as well that no one's been in here for a very long time.
Breathe in that dust.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Like to quietly exit them. If there's any extra dust she could pick up to put on the door handle when she's out.
You do your best. Okay. All right. And next, moving to the other doorway. You attempt to turn the key?
Yes.
When you touch it, make me a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, okay. Oh no. That's a 6.
6. You touch it and you're immediately thrown back 10 feet, and you take 4 points of damage as you hit the wall on the other side of the corridor. And IT's like, Bluey! Are you okay?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. I'll try it again.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
That is a 15.
Nope. You don't get thrown back. But the key does not turn either.
Investigate the key. To have a look at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, please.
IT can assist you. IT will assist you to give you.
Thank Christ. Thank you, IT.
She's like pointing it out. Wow, look at that feature on the key.
18.
18. Okay. With an 18, based on what you know, I'm gonna just explain what you figure out, which is that upon looking at the key, you realize that there is a signature on it, a small family crest, which you assume from the A to be reminiscent of the Ashun family, or belonging to the Ashun family. From that, and from IT's also attempting to open it, and the two of you kind of putting your heads together, you realize that maybe it's only members of the Ashun family who can open this door. Perhaps more specifically, the owner of the lab, Elijah or Ender.
Okay, I don't feel. What if the No, we're not going to do that. No. No, never mind. I think. I don't think we can get much else out of here. But I feel weird asking because you're so. It's.
Okay, IT just says, well, if you're uncertain, it's best to take your time to think about it. So why don't we stick with our original plan? We know what's down here. We figured it out, the thingy. Let's go to a Shissel and ask for help.
Yes. Okay. All right.
Also, if there is something down there, I'd rather not go just the two of us unprepared. Maybe.
Yeah. That sounds good. All right.
Let's go find your friends.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to tell us?
Stairs. Yes. That is important. As in for a month.
Yep. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about your 4th month?
Returning to Melas to prepare to go to a Shissel.
Mhm.
And I think Bluey would want to send Brian a little message through a paid service.
Perfect. That leads us very well then into Ulster. Ulster, are you here? Ulster. Okay.
Can I send a message?
Hold on.
That's okay.
I can send message.
That's fine.
I
Don't worry.
will
You
send messages.
just take a gold piece off of your whatchamajig.
Thinking the thing. Yes, I'll send a message at midday.
Okay.
Brian time again, with no idea that Brian is like about to go to sleep.
Ulster. How can I make this as worse as possible? You're in your dorm room, and this is after maybe a long day of showing Loran the sights that a Shissel has to offer. Now that you've lived here a while and you've kind of come back and resettled yourself after your time in the Maasai, you know your way around and you know what's good. And Loran has been trying to pick out couples outfits for you both. Of course he is. And he has picked out a fair few risque, raunchy numbers. And he just says, so Ulster, I know this is just a sheer ring of fabric, but apparently it's all the rage these days.
Is this for public wear?
I mean, we can make it work. Oh, but I don't want. This can just be for me. But when you go into public, you could wear it over trousers or over a shirt.
Why don't you trial it first?
Make a roll a persuasion check. He's kind of up for it.
15.
15. I'll show you just how good it can look. So you have something to aspire to. And he disappears behind the like, whatchamacallit, the screen. The privacy screen.
First team for today, guys.
Yeah. I had to make it a good one. As he is changing, you hear in your head a voice. Bluey, what does your message to Ulster sound like?
Hi, Brian.
I love how you-
Ishi and I come to a Shissel, meet you, and I mean, while we do some research in next couple of days. Bluey.
At this point, Loran emerges.
Yes, please. All set.
I think it looks great.
Well, Bluey's coming soon. Why don't we go greet her with you dressed like that and get her opinion?
I see your point now. Okay. He presents you with no less than 6 other options. A full Ashissel wardrobe for you to feast upon. No orange in sight. He does give you one specific item of clothing, which I have been thinking about, which is a sheer cape style like skirt. So it's like a wrap skirt thing. And the back is
to go
embroidered.
over clothes.
Yes. Sometimes. So no, it's tasteful.
I'm just
and
imagining like Princess Leia in Star Wars kind of style. I'm just like,
that's what Loran is wearing right now.
okay.
The back is embroidered with red dahlias, connected each by a sort of like muted green vine, and in between is just starburst. This definitely is in the art that I made.
Brian is very happy with the gift, but he will only wear it over very opaque trousers.
Yes. As the good Lord wants.
Yes.
So
Keep things very PG-13 here. Not in Emma's writing, but in here, yes, it's PG-13.
I'm never, ever doing this again. I brought it upon myself.
I'll send you guys one line from it at some point.
Which line?
Now.
Okay, I will set the scene whilst you do this, I suppose. Oh no! There are so many bad ones! Okay, so
I have to be very selective.
I'm upset. No, I'm not upset. I am upset. I am upset.
You're upset.
Question mark.
Great.
Yeah, I guess I am. Also,
I love to
as
upset.
your 4th month, your 4th month we already kind of described, but as it comes to a close, and your 5th month in Ashissel, well, your 5th month after returning to Ashissel begins, you prepare for Bluey's imminent arrival. It takes a couple of days, in which Leander comes to greet you again. Zarina, having returned to the Feywild, and Leander tells you that Leander taking up full residence in Ashissel, he lets you know that he has secured access to the Chronologica, and within the next 2 days, he would like to gather you and as many of your friends. Oh no, Lily.
Wait, is it where did it get posted?
Wait, did I accidentally post it to just Emma? No, I did. I posted it in the group.
I'm scared.
Oh, Emma, please send this to us. I absolutely beg of you.
I picked the least scandalous line in the entire thing.
But it really just does sum up everything that I wrote. I also think that line's very in character. Proud. Right, anyway.
Yes. Continue.
Okay, so. What the fuck was I saying? Some bullshit about Leander? Yeah.
Leander's got access to the Chronologica.
Yep. And Leander says, when you're ready, he wants to, when your friends have been gathered together, he wants to show you how it works and what he intends to do with it. He does explain that he is mainly going to be leaving the research aspect up to Loran, and the other major arcanists in the High Solarian, as he is still, as you know, in the midst of dealing with Karul and his trial. He also shares with you the same sentiment that Zarina did, that the lot of you now are in this together, preventing Jaral from ever being handed over to the Sealy Court. In spite of his position, he lets make sure that you understand that. But he doesn't get too much into the topic. As one day passes, and the morning of the day you expect Bluey to arrive comes, you also receive one more visitor. Whilst walking with Loran off to your various locations, probably to go to research, and Loran to go and speak with Corvius, you are approached by Sarazur Dehane, who has made his way to a Shissel. He
Brian
looks
tears up and then swallows it. He's like, it's fine.
He looks at Loran, and Loran looks at him. And Sarazur just gives him a nod. Just gives him a nod.
Give him a hug.
Yeah. Yeah. And Loran just steps forward and just is like, I suppose.
Brian pushes Loran.
Yes, okay. And they kind of just like collide and then hug. And Loran gives Sarazur a nice solid pat on the back. And he pulls back and he just says, it was a difficult time for both of us. And Sarazur just says, yep, we don't have to do this, Loran. We don't have to say anything else. And Loran's just like, I know. I just wanted
to. Good. It's
yeah.
good.
You think, yeah, see, I agree with Ulster. And Sarah's just like, okay. Okay. Thank you for saying what little you did say. And then he immediately turns to Ulster and is like, Ulster, I've missed you. How are you?
Very good. How about you?
Very good.
How's the terrarium? Who looks for it?
It is at pride in place on his belt. Watered, thriving. Its skin is clear. Its grades are high. It has had a glow up. No. He says, I kept it in a condition I thought you might like to see. So thank you. It's been my constant companion and I've enjoyed it. Its accompaniment.
When you settle down, I'll make a bigger one.
Yes, I would like that very much. Can I give you a hug?
Yes, I'm getting accustomed to hugs once again. He opens his arms.
And he gives you a hug. All jokes and awkwardness aside, I know that it's kind of difficult spending so much time apart and then coming back together like this. It's happened to me many times with my acquaintances and friends from the past, that we would often go a long amount of time without seeing each other. But I just wanted to come back and say that I'm here now.
Yes, welcome.
Yes, to help in any way that I can. And I do have to go back to Kalkan for a few days to assist Neff in doing something stupid. But
sounds fun. I don't want to know anything about it.
No, I don't. I wasn't going to burden you with the information. It's best you don't know.
Brian's bags under his eyes just drip a little bit more, and he's like, it's fine.
Very quickly, is this at the start of the 5th month?
Yeah, just don't worry about it, Thomas.
Brian will receive a letter that will notify him.
Oh, I thought I made a mistake with the scenes. Okay, that's fine.
No. I just wanted to say that Brian will at some point find out if he hasn't already. Hello.
Aaron appears with a letter in hand and is like, "Hey guys, what a nice family." A letter, and it's like, "Goodbye." Oh, would you like me to stay? I can
look
leave.
at Saraza and Loran. Do you want him to stay?
Eh.
This is my friend Aaron. I said Saraza.
Hello, Aaron. Aaron's like, hello, Mr.
Saraza.
Saraza. Pleased to meet you. I am Aaron. Great.
That was a wonderful meeting.
Yep. You can go now, though. We have. I don't mean to be rude, but we have. And Aaron's like, I get it. Family drama.
Bye, Aaron.
He disappears. Quite literally. He claps his fingers and gone.
Magic.
Yep. I never understand it. No, but genuinely, before this letter appeared in hand, I did have something I really wanted, which was that I'm here to help you. Before we couldn't quite get anywhere with our research, but we did find out a few pieces of key information, and what little we did find out, it could be very important. It could lead us to the Underdark.
Where Slayer is.
He looks to Loran, and Loran sighs and just said, well, I was going to wait until we had looked at the Chronologica to confirm, but... And he kind of goes to stand next to Saraza and just says, I'm not 100% sure, because I just have a hunch. We haven't been to the Underdark. We've been to various other planes, the Feywild, a couple of the elemental ones, a couple of the different continents on the material plane, just chasing up pretty standard leads, contacts that I know, things we found out, looking for the Druid tribes like I explained. But we couldn't really find any answers there, which led us both to think that perhaps the answers were waiting for us in the most obvious place. The Underdark, you know? And that's kind of where the falling out came about. I just wanted to give it a bit more time until we could probably figure it out. And well, we don't have to get into it. And Saraza was like, that's not exactly how it happened. This is more the fight I'm talking about. We don't have to reopen those old... Saraza's like, yeah, because already you're saying it wrong and not how it happened. And Loran is like, shush.
Moving on.
Mm.
Saraza, why don't you tell the story from now? Equal.
Sounds like a plan. If
I'm
we do...
mediating.
Thank you, Ulster. You will make a great ruler one day. It's a very important skill.
Brian just pauses for a few seconds, processes. Yes. Anyway.
Right. If we do go down to the Underdark, we are thinking of trying to find a way to get into contact with Slya. And we want you to come with us.
Oh yes, I wouldn't be staying behind.
I was going to say, mostly because we feel like you wouldn't let us go unless you came, but also because, in all honesty, we don't know how it's going to go down there, and we want to go in with a solid plan, a plan of escape, a backup plan of escape, and also people who can handle themselves if something goes wrong, which leaves us three really as the only options of people available.
You could use me with my... I have a link to the Feywild. I can get us out in a moment.
That would be useful. Loran can get us there. You can get us back.
Well, not back here. I can get us back to the Dehane estate.
That's also fine. So long... The key thing is that when we go down there, we are disguised, and we only contact Slya. No one else.
Seems fair. Disguised as what? Drow, I'm guessing.
Female drow.
Mm-hmm.
Male drow attract too much unwanted attention.
Okay, I can work with this.
Well, Loran sort of puts a hand on Cyrus's chest and just says, well, we do need to confirm our suspicions first before we throw ourselves into the Underdark. Because again, this is also kind of, I can't believe I'm being the voice of reason. This is ridiculous and a role reversal that I'm not exactly comfortable with. But I can't downplay the fact that Slya's life is at stake here. Slya's in a difficult position already. And so if we don't have to go, I don't want to go.
I mean, if anything, we would also be confirming Slya's safety.
That's fair. That is fair. But let's at least wait until tomorrow, when we're in the Chronologica. We've had a look and we've seen what it's all about.
Okay.
Okay. Squad hands in.
What is a squad? Okay. Brian puts his hand very like.
Saz. And Cyrus is just like, this is the kind of thing that got us into the fight. And he's just like, Saz.
You thought about squad hands in?
Yeah, he wanted us to have a handshake, and I thought it would be too
That's so cute.
conspicuous. Well, we needed to be subtle, and it wasn't a subtle handshake. It involved fireworks.
Can I see?
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage. Sarasa doesn't want to do it. Wait, no, because Sarasa doesn't want to do it. Loran does straight persuasion.
Do you want me to re-roll it?
Have you rolled one?
Yeah, I've already rolled both. Do you want me to roll
or
again?
just re-roll it. Sorry, I didn't think it completely through.
16 plus persuasion. 22.
Oh wow.
I'm very persuasive. Surprisingly. My one charisma stat.
Sarah's just like, because it's you. Fine.
I feel privileged.
Okay, and Loran is like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Okay, right, come on. And Sarah's like, inside. He's like, yes, it's fine. We won't burn anything. Okay.
Brian takes several steps back.
Okay. Now, the mole. And Sarah's just like, I don't want to do this, Loran. And he's like, conjure the freaking mole.
This is the content you guys wanted, right? I'm bringing it. Come on.
Sarah's just like, this is going to take 10 minutes. And he just sort of starts conjuring the mole. He's like, Loran's like,
Brian just sits down like,
shh. And eventually the mole appears.
Very impressive, Sarasa.
Yeah, it's all I got. And Loran's like, well, that's not quite true. As you are about to see, are you ready? Let it begin. And then what I can only describe as a cascade of movement takes place. Loran spins around, hands up, as Sarasa copies the movement, mole in hands, and chucks it through the air. Loran, hand up, catches the mole, brings it down. As he does, a shower of sparks rainbows over them. Sarasa dodges between the sparks. Loran copies the movement. The mole is released. It rolls across the ground. They come down. And the mole stands up. The mole stands up. Hands in the sky. They copy the pose. Sarasa poses the other way. Fireworks. Pew, 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 pew. What do the fireworks spell, you wonder? Slaz.
Brian starts clapping. He is overjoyed.
Thank you.
That
is it. Sarasa walks away in shame.
Sarasa, no, it was great. Great coordination.
Thank you. Hang on, can I roll a performance check for each of them just see? Oh, they're both quite good. Sarasa rolled. How much? As a performance?
Monkey dance.
He's a +0 to performance. Sarasa rolled 15 and 10. Sarasa did it better. Sarasa did it better than Loran, and I feel like it tracks because he's quite diligent. He would have put time and effort into remembering. So after that happens, the rest of the session is going to look like shit in comparison. Because how? Anyway, now that you and Sarasa, not you and Sarasa, but now that Loran and Sarasa have made up, the day passes, fairly uneventful, just the usual, with the added addition of knowing that Sarasa is also helping you out with your research. You hear, eventually, the sound of footsteps as Aaron once more appears and is like, Ulster, hello. I'm here to tell you, yes, I'm here to be the bearer of good news. A friend of yours has appeared at the teleportation circle. I would just happen to be there, and they seemed so interesting, so I thought I'd bring them here and just kind of like...
The blue one.
The blue one, indeed. The blue one, will you enter? Bluey, you have been led by Aaron through the white, bright, sunlit streets of Ashisel. Everywhere you see colours, creams like sand, bright whites and turquoise blues. The sky is clear. The sun is up. It is warm and it is beautiful. Immediately, your clothes, which are suited to the very cool climate of Melas, are too warm and constricting. As you make your way up the cobblestone streets to the magnificent structure, which is the High Solarian, which looks a little bit like the Sagrada de Familia. I was looking up Sagrada de Familia. Sagrada de Familia. I can't say it very well.
Sagrada de Familia?
Is
it Italian?
Yes, Sagrada Familia. It looks... It's not that important, but it looks a little bit like this.
Important. Ooh.
Yep.
That's nice.
Yeah. As you approach, Aaron leads you into a huge library, a corridor of books, and you hear voices. You hear the voice of your friend Ulster, the voice of your friend Sarasa, and the voice of your friend Loran. Aaron pops around the corner to announce your arrival, and he just says, "The blue one!" And you turn the corner, and you see, sitting there...
With IT?
With IT is there as well, yeah. That's established.
Package deal.
You are, of course.
And also courage.
Yes, that's also established. Courage sits on your shoulder at all times.
I keep on forgetting.
It's fine. He's
Yes.
becoming Shu, slowly but
Okay.
surely. You round the corner and you see your friends.
Yes. Ah,
Hi, Bluey.
hello. Okay, hugs. Hugs for Brian.
Just
Hugs
shake him.
for Brian. Yes, or just tight. Hugs for Sarasa.
Sarasa gives you a big hug. He's like, "You've gotten beefier. And I can sense it. Somewhat magical."
Sarasa's magic senses are tingling.
I know. They've been on edge ever since yesterday.
Did something happen?
No.
Oh, you should show Bluey the handshake.
Handshake.
It was spectacular. It brightened my month.
Oh, that's kind of sad.
I've got to bring this up.
Sweet.
Sad and sweet.
Just the world's most elaborate.
Maybe once all of us are together again, I'll do it. I know I only have to do it once more in my entire life.
What?
Oh.
Blue is looking between this like minor conflict. Like...
Minor conflict.
IT pops up from behind her like, handshake.
Handshake.
Wait. You've met. Hang on. Have you met? Yes, you've met everybody. Yes. Okay.
At the wedding.
Yeah, we've met.
Oh yes. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Loran, stand up. Don't burn any books. Spin around, catch the mole, roll it on the ground, pose, 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 rainbow sparks, fireworks, slaz.
I think Brian sheds a tear. Just flicks it away.
Oh, so good.
Loran goes and puts out the flames on some like slightly singed books. He's like, "It's wonderful."
So good.
So, a lot of you are in Ashisel. Now, Bluey, is there anything you would like to just quickly do or look into, or would you like to describe how you spend your first couple of hours here with Bluey, with Ulster? Ulster? Anything you want to show Bluey?
Come meet my friend Aaron and Alexa's husband.
Yes.
Yes.
Firmly established now. They have lasted the month.
Siri, I think the name
Siri.
was.
Yep.
You meet them.
I did expand. I changed his name to Cyprian, nickname Siri.
Cyprian, nickname Siri.
Yep. Because I just really am into the French names these days.
They're all very nice.
Okay. You are escorted to a separate part of the library. The thing about these libraries is the bookshelves are so packed that they're basically soundproof. So as you go around, you kind of hear Alexa kind of like animatedly like talking to Cyprian, just like, and I mean, like, I just know that it's only been 2 months, but I still really am so happy that we did this. I mean, the fact that we're having a baby is also really cool, but I mean, just the fact that like we're married and it's just so great, isn't it? We're soulmates. And just Cyprian's like, and that's the scene you kind of come into. Aaron's like,
Is this in Celestial?
yes.
Okay.
Do you speak Celestial?
No.
No. You just hear, ah!
Yeah, gospel singers.
And Cyprian's just like, and Aaron's, da-dang! Oh shit! Aaron only speaks Sylvan.
Only?
He doesn't have to.
He speaks Common too. We're gonna, even if he didn't before, he does now. Cool. But he speaks it with an accent.
Mm.
What accent yet? I do not know. We'll find out.
Australian. Channel Quinny.
No! I can't do it. If we want to end this game in time, I can't waste time accenting. That's my excuse. So, you all settle down and you meet Ulster's friend. And it's quite nice and quite illuminating. There's time here about the way Ishusal works. You hear some crazy stories about some crazy parties that they snuck into. And it's all quite fun and bizarre. Sarazar and Loran also regale you with their stories. Knowing that Alexa and Aaron are in Ulster's inner circle, they do not mind sharing, but they do not mention Valis by name for good reason. They tell you how they started looking into Jiral's location. They traced the movements of druids in attempts to ascertain more information about the wildlife they were seeing so that they could put name to place, but that led them only to dead ends. They then picked up on tidbits of information they heard, ideas and concepts about where you might hide children from some concerned mothers, from communities that are plagued by monsters who need a way to ensure that their society lives on, from orphanages who tend to find themselves in wartime and need to protect the children there. And they realize that that probably wasn't the kind of place they would find Valis. Abandoning that, they did pick up on one bit of information, which came in Kalkan, that sometimes children are sent to temples when they are in danger, as Neff and Daniel were. They went to the 5 temples, and during their time there, they encountered a fair few individuals. People of the Temple of Abundance who were rebuilding, who had finally put out the fire in the library. People of the Temple of Law and Learning, Sir Elaras. The Temple of Life, which had been hit the hardest and was being built up from the foundations. The Temple of Death, though, was where they made their first breakthrough with Fala. And they tell you, Sarazar says, we spoke to her at length. And at first we were just trying to see if anyone had come through, orphans or children or individuals who might be asking about housing children. And while she couldn't help us, She told us how she came to be at the temple, delivered by the Sisterhood. And that name echoed a name we had heard in another place, and the whisper of a name we'd heard in another place, in the Feywild, on Trafe-Toya, on a different continent. And we started to wonder that maybe they had something to do with Valis's disappearance, with Valis's whereabouts. And that's when we reached out to Slya. We did some digging, and it didn't take long to put together that Fala being a drow and the Sisterhood being unable to be located on the material plane or any other place we've been to may lead us to the Underdark. Alexa leans forward and just says, I don't understand what they're saying. And Aaron just says, it's very dramatic, don't worry.
As usual.
So we did reach out to Slya. She is alive and well, as far as we know. And Bluey, they inform you as well of their plans to go to the Underdark. But Sarasa says, we're bringing Allstair with us, but Bluey, I think it's best if we keep someone here as well to mind over my father.
Okay.
Would you do that for us?
In Kalkan
A Shissel.
or here?
We're in a Shissel.
Okay, right.
From
Okay.
now on, I think this will be the base, considering we're working out of the Chronologica when our father comes and tells us about it. Okay. With the information that Sarasa and Loren gave you on your minds, you continue your research, but it's accompanied now by a sense of concern. This thread of information is delicate and pulled tight. There is not a lot of leads. But you have a name, and you have an idea. Maybe they're in the Underdark. As time goes on, a couple of hours later, Leander tells you that, along with Alexa, who has been working part-time in the Chronologica, he will explain exactly how it works. He comes and collects you all, and Alexa immediately gets very excited, turning to you also and saying, it's marvelous. When you go inside, it's going to change the way you look at everything. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you should calm down if you're pregnant.
The baby will probably end up being like me, so they'll have a pretty strong constitution. But maybe you're right. Okay.
Do you want some water?
Yes,
Tea.
please.
Oh,
yes, please.
Right, goes and gets her tea.
Okay. Tea in hand, she kind of like tips it back and just turns to everyone and says, with Leander in tow, and says, so we've all, well, me and the masters I serve, who are the other arcanists here, have decided to open up the Chronologica to all of you. And as I am Allstair's friend, they gave me the prestigious task of touring you alongside Leander, our new acquaintance. It's a pleasure to meet you, by the way, sir. And Leander says, and likewise to you. The Chronologica is a marvel of magical engineering. It's one of the wonders of the world, truly. But if in the wrong hands, then it could lead people to powerful magics that could put us all in danger. And that is why very, very few are chosen ever to get near it. At Leander's behest, all of you are granted permission to enter. And Allstair, I believe there are also 2 more friends of yours who will be joining us at some point. She kind of like scans her eyes over the group and settles on IT and is just like, but this one doesn't match the description of either of those friends, so I don't know if they're.
Has IT been given a room with Bluey?
Would have been.
IT, I don't want to be terribly rude, but maybe for your own safety, would you mind going back to your room with you're sharing with Bluey just for a little bit?
Sure, yeah. I'd love to hear what it looks like, but I understand.
I'll draw you a vague picture. Abstraction later for the experience.
Thank you. All right then.
Am I going in or should I stay behind?
You were granted. She doesn't speak your language.
You're allowed to stay.
Okay.
She turns to you, Ulster, and says, "Well, I mean, of course, other than this one, you had 2 other friends whose descriptions we have received, who are also allowed entrance. 2 tieflings.
Neither of them are here at the moment, though hopefully we'll know about one of them soon. And I really hope the other one doesn't get eaten by a sphinx. What happens, happens.
What happens, happens. You're exactly right." And IT sort of just like in all of this, not understanding the conversation, she kind of turns to you, Blue, and is just like, "I'm just gonna go, okay?" And gives you a big squeeze and is like, "I'll see you up in the room.
Okay.
I'll make a blanket fort. Bye."
Oh my gosh. Bye.
Okay. You guys make your way through the sort of center of the building, away from the libraries, away from the up a set of stairs to the observation tower, where there is a planetarium of sorts, and then there is a door, a set of double doors, which leads you to the Chronologica. You've never been here, never even made it to the doorway, but Alexa brings you, and there are 2 sorcerers on either side of the doors, but instead of keeping you away, they just nod. And Alexa smiles and is like, "So, when you go in, don't touch anything, and just, yeah, appreciate it. It's going to be pretty cool. I'll explain how it works, but I'll let you have a quick look around first." And she puts her hands on the doors and just says, "Welcome to the Chronologica. Go inside." And she sort of like starts moving in. And go on. What's yes, Bluey?
And could I either like ask around, I don't know if Courage has the magic or if someone has the magic for like comprehend languages, something like that.
Oh, sorry.
like,
Alexa would have also
translate?
Alexa would have also been like, "Courage can't come in either."
Sorry?
Courage gets sent with IT.
Courage gets sent with IT. I'm sorry. I've completely forgot he was
okay.
there as
Yes.
usual. He is
Yes,
truly
I'm so
becoming
sorry,
a shoe.
Courage.
Oh no.
Oh no. So,
Well,
or Brian, could you give me the spark notes of
I can translate for you under my breath.
Okay. Not everything.
yeah.
If you don't
I will
mind.
just assume that Ulster is translating everything
Okay.
for
Okay,
for you
thank
guys.
Right.
Unless you tell me otherwise, Lily.
What language is Alexa speaking? Because
Alexa,
I know that Loran doesn't speak Celestial, and I don't know if Sarazo does.
Alexa is speaking Celestial. Loran doesn't speak Celestial, neither does Sarazo. Leander does, and Leander is also translating for Loran and Sarazo. That's mostly the reason that he's there.
Okay.
Well, he has another purpose, but of course. So,
Okay.
as you enter into the room, 2 colors dominate this space: gold and blue. All around you, you see gold fixtures reaching up and whirring around a huge blue crystal, which emanates light. Every now and again, it shoots off like puffs of smoke in a bright, bright blue, which shimmer with like the light of a galaxy. In its wake, ripples through the air, and they are drawn back into the crystal. The crystal is framed by gold apparatus which spin and whir and whirl. The air is heavy with the smell of lavender, sulfur, salt. It's warm, it's cold, depending on where you go. As you move your way around, your senses are affronted by a cacophony of warmth, temperature, noise, light. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. The crystal in the center is about 5 foot across and 7 foot tall. It turns slowly. At first you think it's stationary, but as you move, you see it moving ever so slightly with you. Loran and yourself have pulled to the head of the group. And as you walk by it, there is a flash, a soft cloud of blue, those same shimmering star-like particles drift through the air and almost cling to your skin before being pulled back into the Chronologica. Staring at it a little longer, the facets of this gem are reflective. Not all of them, but most of them. And looking into them, you see yourselves, certainly. You see the room around you. But as you move around it, you see your other selves, your younger selves. You see yourselves as though aged, as though different. Male, female, old, young. Some of you elven, some of you not quite. Possibility. All the paths your life could take,
All the
might still
AUs.
take. All the AUs. And not only that, behind you in these reflections, where the room has changed, people. All the people who have been here, who have stood here before, stand behind you now, but you are quite alone, other than the presence of each other. Alexa almost skips around it, invigorated by the sight. Her smile is wide, and she just nods and is like, "Isn't it awesome?"
It's very beautiful.
Well, this is it. The answer to everything, the center of our civilization. Not just a shissel, beyond too. Using this, we have a chance, a fragment of a chance, to see everything that could be, everything that has been, everything that might be somewhere else.
It's a lot of power.
Exactly. Which is why you can't exactly let just anyone in here. And Leander says, and that is why it took so long for us to be allowed access. As far as I know, well, the capabilities of this place are, as of yet, untested for what we need them to do. We may be able to use this to locate Valis. My working theory is that if we can see ourselves, versions of ourselves and what could be, what is stopping us seeing other fragments of possibility?
How can we try it?
He looks to Loran. Loran looks to you. We don't know. That's what we're going to find out. That is why we're in here now. Because between a lot of us, Loran turns, we're going to use this to see where we got to go. If we can find a way to show this thing that maybe, I don't know, a picture or a sketch of Valis, if we can show them items or something or places that we've been that might have led us to him, maybe it can show us where he is now. And Alexa pipes in and just says, it's a gem called paynite. That's what this is made of.
Called
It's
what, sorry?
paynite.
Paynite.
Ah, right, okay. It's blue,
Daboo-dee daboo-da.
Not purple.
not purple.
Yeah. Blue. You've seen a purple one. Bluey. You also have another bit of information, which you might have forgotten, but I think I definitely told you in our personal sesh
Well,
about.
it's also this. Oh no, I don't know if Brian said that. Or Billy said that. Sorry. If it was like named after a tribe.
No, that's
oh
not
no, that's
that.
not the other thing. Okay.
No, that. So, okay, make an intelligence check, and I'll just re-describe it for you.
Okay, thank you. 5. Okay.
It's pretty. It's really pretty. Do you remember? Okay, I reckon that all stay you could probably have a gander at this as well. So do you want to roll an intelligence check?
That is a 12 plus 3, 15.
See Bluey struggling. Just
15. Seeing Bluey struggling, you kind of like, what is she thinking about? Stare at the stone. Where have I seen? Of course, the purple stone you recognize. This one is blue. You've also seen a couple of other stones of different colors, which have acted as either vessels for magic or whose purposes you do not know, but have been held by magical people who've met, arcanists. Ender, for example, when you last saw him, had something similar to this. Similar almost to the purple stone, except it wasn't purple. It was orange, amber.
Yuck. Okay, I'll point that out.
Yep.
Oh.
That was a couple of sessions. That was a fair few sessions ago in game, so you might not. That might have gone over your heads, but yep.
So we don't know how to use it, but we could all attempt different things.
Well, at the moment, those who have a knowledge of crafting magical items and being quite good at it are going to be coming up with some plans. It's magicy, wagicy, timey-wimey stuff. Hee hee hee.
I watched that episode the other day.
So good. But essentially, yes. What we need, well, what we think we need from everyone is people researching and figuring out places he could have been based off of where Sarza and I have already gone. Recreating those places in sketches in any way that you can, in illusion, or showing us them, and we will bring them here and see what happens.
I mean, I don't know what he looks like, but I could attempt some sketches of what a child of Kurul and Jara would look like as well.
Could be something. We got to try it all. We got to see if also Slayer has made any efforts.
Yeah, and also I could scry on him in the Underdark if we think he's there.
Right, yeah. I was like, wait, huh? But yes, yeah. When you're in the Underdark, you can certainly try.
And if Florian can prepare scrying, could he do that? Because I know that wizards have to prepare their spells daily.
Yes, technically he could. He might already have it prepared. I'm just checking.
Because a couple of times we've asked him and he hasn't.
Yeah, just because I usually leave his spells as the same spells that he would usually prepare on a daily, but he can make swappies for his boy.
Swappies.
Yep. Oh, it's even. Yep. Yeah, he'll do that. He'll work on it as well.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Could I tap Brian on the shoulder and whisper to him? What if we're bad at sketching?
You don't need to sketch Bluey. It's fine. You can
Research as well.
research. I can.
Okay.
I've drawn a lot in my life, so it won't take me that long. Probably what I'm most useful at.
Good.
Leander says, we also will not be alone here. We'll be working with other head arcanists from the High Solarian who will assist us in using the Chronologica. Another capability of this isn't only finding Valis, but, as you know, finding those beacons you were speaking of.
Mhm.
Does finding them still interest you?
Finding them to make sure other people don't.
Good.
Mm.
Well, we have heard from sources of a location which might hold something similar to described as a beacon. So if you wish, we can also go and look and see if that is anything. And then we can figure out how to use this to find them as well.
Also sounds like a plan.
Lauren kind of, even though he's like kind of smiling and is like, look at this thing, isn't it cool? He kind of stops for a second and stare and just shoots you a look like, do you need to go?
No, his mind's just on Slayer, I think.
I think he can tell that. Well, he messages you and your brain is like, do you need to step out?
Oh, Brian can reply to it. He's like, no, I just thinking of things and thinking of Slayer a lot.
You nod. And you hear in your head again, well, let's go
Bing.
find her. Let's go find her. The rest of your day is spent establishing yourselves. You set up base in the library. Those of you who are going to be researching are tasked with taking notes from Saraza, who is also researching of the places.
Sarah's reading. I got to see it firsthand.
Why is everybody surprised? Wait.
Brian
How
didn't
do
say
you-
that, but that's his action.
Okay.
he's like,
Sure.
Sarah's reading.
Oh shit. Speaking of reading.
Oh no.
Oh yes. We will get to that at the end. A fun bonus content.
I need to find that. I have photos of the letter because
I have it right in front of me.
Yeah.
I have it right in front of me.
It's
Anyway,
a little bit different.
but that is not
Nev
the
had a
point.
letter to Brian.
Neff also has Brian's letters.
We will do those bonus contents in a moment.
And to Bluey as well. They are very, very
Still
similar,
got-
if not identical.
Still got a little while.
Blue is shocked.
So, the research team at the moment consists of Ulster, Saraza, Bluey, and probably IT and Alexa. Well, no, not Alexa, and Aaron as helpers. But it's mostly the three of you working together, and you start setting up your base in the library, and Saraza gives you locations, places, names, everywhere they've been. He gives you a sketch of Fala as well, and just says, she was delivered by the Sisterhood. It could lead us somewhere.
Can I mock up some sketches of Valis, and would I have to roll for that?
At the point, right now, you wouldn't have time because we're about to
Okay.
get into the next stage of things.
Okay.
But over the next few weeks, you could definitely do all these things. There's plenty of time coming for all of that. But another thing that you would do is checking in on Loran that same day. You'd see that Loran, Leander, and Corvius have teamed up with other Arcanists from the High Solarian and are already working on something. The machines are whirring. The gem is turning, and Loran is like pulling magic from it, feeding it through his hand, trying to form it into things in front of him and shooting it back into the crystal. Leander is doing the same thing, and like they're trying to almost weave the magic, the sort of like clouds into something, but it doesn't seem to be working. It's almost as if like it's forming circles in the air and rippling and then almost holding shape and then being pulled back. And that is basically the sort of progress that they make in that day. The three of you get set up and they also start working on whatever they're working on in the Chronologica. But that night, after all the setup is done, and I think you get the base of some sketches started. We'll have you roll for it later on, in the next session or after the session, before the outcome is determined, obviously. Sarazar and Loran come for you.
Sounds very ominous.
Yeah.
Saz and Laz.
Saz and Laz come for you. In the library, the sky outside is dark and you're working now by candlelight. Sarazar left a moment ago to prepare himself and get Loran. And you know it's time. As they round the corner, they look at you and they just motion you to follow them.
Okay. Time to become a drow lady. He's ready.
Okay. Time to become a drow lady. I ain't afraid of no drow lady.
Wait, is this happening now?
Wildly afraid of drow ladies.
Yep.
Yeah. It's different from finding Valis.
Mhm.
Don't worry.
Don't worry, they're not finding Valis. They're just going to go and say hi.
Casual. But we're going to scry. Haha.
Yes.
But
You can
are gonna
certainly
try?
scry.
You can certainly scry.
Yep. Loran can't actually scry today because he didn't prepare. But you can do it, I think. Still.
Okay.
So, Loran leads you to a secluded courtyard. It's quite obscured by treetops, and there are no windows facing it, except for one, but it's empty. Loran looks up at it, makes sure nobody is looking in, and moves some branches off the ground. And you see he has placed here a teleportation circle. This I came across in the Temple of Death. Apparently it leads to Batar. So now is the time to become beautiful women. So I can certainly make this happen for all of us. How would you like to look? Sarazar just says, just like me, but female and drow, please. And Loran is
Same.
like, you guys are no fun. Oh my gosh.
Well, you can do what you want. I just don't want to see.
That was a bad thing to say, wasn't it?
Yes, definitely. And he immediately no. Damn, what would Sarazar? To be honest, he only really wants to see Brian these days. So
Oh no.
okay.
I'm scared.
Everything is the same. Your white hair grows slightly longer, just a tiny, tiny bit. Your skin turns purple grey, and you are just a female drow. There's only one large difference.
Oh, come on.
You're 4 inches taller. What were you thinking, Lily?
It better be only height. It better be.
You're 4 inches taller. And that is it. That's literally it.
This
I
is
just
not helping with my height complex, but thank you.
I just wanted to see what it'd be like to be shorter than you, and he whoosh, himself, and he shrinks 2 inches. Yes. This is grand.
Brian moves closer to Saraza and folds his arms.
Saraza, he changes. Saraza also shrinks just ever so slightly. And he has a spattering of star-like, what's it? Freckles, kind of like Slayer does. But if you look at him for a distance, you look. Oh, this is brother gross. But if you look at them, if you look at them from a certain angle in some light, it says Slaz emblazoned on the cheek.
Brian says
So,
nothing.
the 3 of you, as drow women, step onto the teleportation circle. And we're going to cut back to Slayer. Slayer? Aelin?
Yes. Wait. Oh, I'm frozen. No. Am I back?
You're spinny. There you go.
Okay.
In the wake of your fight with Vishar, she pulled you aside and gave you a stern look and just said, "Why?"
Figured it was the only way to get your attention.
What would you want my attention for?
I had a question or a couple about the sisterhood.
Make a persuasion check with advantage if you want her answers.
Yes. Persuasion. 8.
8. You think because you beat me in battle. No, that is not what happened. You think because you challenged me in battle, I'll tell you anything.
No.
I don't have to answer your questions. But I am curious. Why the sisterhood?
I'm following a lead.
A lead to what exactly?
Gerald's son.
You believe he's with the sisterhood?
Yes.
No. You know he is, don't you?
I know he's with someone.
My computer's about to
Just
die.
gonna describe the spines on the arms, the insignia.
That is the sisterhood.
Then yes, he's with the sisterhood.
Come with me. She leads you inside.
Okay.
Into what can only be described as an armory. Closes the door behind her. There are weapons everywhere. It's wonderful. She sits down on a bench and starts taking off her armor. Just looks at you and just says, "You want to know how I got here?"
I've been told a little.
She pulls off her shoulder pauldron, places it down, clatters on the ground. She doesn't care. I don't really know. I'm not going to lie to you. They delivered me to Loth. Oh no. They delivered me to Loth. They delivered me to Loth. Oh no. Okay. Okay. I was raised here.
Delivered her to Lol.
I only remember that they came back once to take a child.
Do you remember when they took you?
No. I was one of the younger ones. Vague memories of travel. They used to, at least, have a fairly fixed route throughout the Underdark. As far as I know, from what I've heard from others older than myself, who were delivered by the Sisterhood, they would make the rounds, all the clusters of the Underdark, and then ascend the plains, material, sometimes the Feywild, elemental planes, the hells every now and again, searching for clients and searching for children. Apparently, for a couple 100 years now, the Underdark is a bit more difficult for them to navigate. One of their main trade routes was disrupted. Probably some problems topside. What exactly could have caused a problem big enough to impact the Underdark, I do not know. I don't care, really. That's all I know. One broken trade route. Couple more, as far as I'm aware, undamaged on other planes.
Thank you.
Yeah. How long have you known all of this? The idea to ask about this sisterhood. How long have you been thinking of it?
A couple months.
She leans forward. You knew. And you didn't say anything for months. I was wrong about you. Maybe you are more than just their dog. I won't say anything. Not because I like you or anything like that. Because I respect how you did out there.
Maybe you might consider training me a little bit.
No. But the
Fair
fact that you asked. If you want to train, you start at the bottom before you get to me. Enroll in the basic class. Learn what you can. Then see if you can beat me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Just nod to head towards the door.
Yep.
And the rest of your month passes. The rest of your month passes. Uneventful, mostly. But you have more information vis-a-vis the sisterhood. With that in mind, your research leads you to history, trade routes, pathways, travel in the Underdark. Arcadia doesn't understand why you're so interested. But diligently, like you always do, through your reading, you discover one thing. A location. A place that was destroyed in the Dragon Plague. Now, you might have heard of this one before. I don't remember whether we talked about it last session or not. The location. Animper, indeed.
Slaya did get a message from Sinestre last session.
Animper, indeed. Reading more about it, it is, or was, a city in the Underdark that has been destroyed and disrupted a lot of the major travel beneath ground, forcing a lot of drow to take dangerous routes above ground to get to other clusters. Or to go deeper, and what is deeper is even more dangerous and undesirable what is in the Underdark. So travel there is perilous, to say the least. And it is massive, vast, one of the biggest cities, or at least at the time it was. With all of this on your mind, you research to the best of your ability, day in and day out. It's exhausting, but it's worth it. One day, near the end of your month, you are offered a brief respite from your research in the form of an invitation from a friend, Sophie, to go and spend some time with her. On your way there, the streets are quiet, more quiet than usual. You tend, when you're in this part of the city, to take the back road, the alleyways. Mostly because it's better to keep to yourself down here. In these more distant areas, distant districts of Batar, people are slightly more desperate. That is why when at first you see the 3 drow women standing at the end of the alleyway, looking at you, your heart jolts. Why? What do they want you for? Ulster.
See.
After traveling to Batar and managing to keep a low enough profile to navigate your way around the city, you see ahead of you, as you expected,
2 swirly dots.
2 swirly dots. Oh no. Oh, this is sad.
Am I back?
You are back.
Okay.
Touch wood.
As expected, Slya. Although she doesn't seem to recognize you. Slya, you see 3 drow women standing and staring at you. Ulster, you see Slya. What do you 2 do?
Hang on.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no. Odaijini.
Slaya doesn't have a coughing fit.
She has a coughing fit. Ah!
But she just kind of like freezes and takes almost a defensible position, like she might run.
I think Brian puts a hand on Loran's shoulder and says, I don't know what the code of conduct is down here, but I suppose we can't run and get a hug, can we?
Loran looks around and just says, "Let me pop a sanctum first." Do not be alarmed, Slyan'ssun. We
You know
are.
who that is.
You know exactly. Make an intelligence check.
That is a 16 plus 2, 18.
Do not be alarmed, Slyan'ssun. We are just weary travelers, and I believe he looks to you. We need no introduction.
Slya takes kind of like a hesitant step forward, and she looks like she kind of like blinks tears out of her eyes.
But wait, there is more. And boom. You feel that same rush of magical energy, and now it's definitely certain Slyer, because this feeling is familiar, as the sanctum, Loran's sanctum, expands and envelops the four of you. I think it's okay now. This is
Ryan
Loran.
runs.
Is,
Oh,
is,
that-
it, is it cloudy?
It's sure, yeah.
Okay. If it's cloudy, Slya will run up and definitely give some hugs.
Okay.
Not, she wasn't gonna risk it.
Oh, Dad. Anyway, Allstate gives you a hug, and it's swiftly followed by Loran and Sarah.
What are you guys
Stacks on
doing here?
Slayer.
It's not safe.
Checking that you're okay for one.
Very important business, obviously.
It's so good to see you.
How are things?
Let's talk about other things. I have information.
Oh yeah, did you ever? Sorry, I as much as I want to be very heartfelt right now, we do have a time crunch. Information about the Sisterhood. Did you find out anything?
Loran, can you know the magic I used on Nikir to share the memory?
Yes, sure. He presents his head to you.
Can you cast that on me? I can show
Oh,
you
I understand.
everything.
Might
What
need
was
to
the name
lean
of
down
this?
to reach him.
Yes, I'm very short, you see.
Living his dream.
Yeah, I think it's quite fun. I just enjoy the fact that now I am a tiny, tiny spoon.
You're sleeping in separate beds tonight. Okay.
Oh no! He immediately has a tantrum and refuses. No. What's the name of the spell?
Lauren has
Just
a
checking.
tantrum, breaks the cover.
It's detect thoughts. Wait, yes, detect thoughts is the spell. Read minds is the feature for clerics.
Yep, he can do it. He has done it. Hand on your
So, Slya shows him these scrying, specifically Valis, the like foliage of the area that they were in, and the emblems of the Sisterhood.
Beautiful.
It scooches to all of her research on that area, the plant from the Krivamai. Actually have
Okay.
the research on the veins of Anandpur,
Mm-hmm.
the trade routes,
Mm-hmm.
the and then her conversation with Vashar and Arcadia about the Sisterhood as well.
Okay. Damn, that's so good. Oh, what a cool spell. I'm just gonna write. He kind of pulls back and is like, well, shit. That's great. He just gives you a hug. Damn it, Slyan! You'd let me down. Pulls back, looks to all of you. With this, I think we got him. I don't
Do you
know.
where he is.
I don't know
Right now.
exact. Not right. No.
The scrying I did was 2 months ago.
Oh, well, I can solve that. Brian sits down and tries to scry on Valis.
Okie dokie. Let me just open up Scry 5e. It's in my history. Wisdom saving throw. You have second-hand knowledge of the target. Ooh.
Also now Slia is the limpet. Just everybody is limpet. Just
Yeah, boy.
Also, has Brian
Holding
leveled up yet,
hand.
or are we still working off a level 13?
Nope, you would be upper level by now. Because you completed your pilgrimage. The only reason I haven't specifically said that to you yet is because I've still got to sort of tweak a few things with the alchemy. But I'll do that when I'm at work tomorrow, probably, if you don't mind waiting just a little bit longer. But yep, you're level 14 now.
All of
Does
us?
that have? Yes. As of this session.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I should have clarified that. I only said it for Neff's one. I meant to clarify it when I did all of the scenes. Scenes took over my brain. Yes, you're all level 14 now. So bear that in mind. Okay. So he rolled a 4. Even
It's
with
an
a plus
18 save.
5. Yeah, I was gonna say, even with a plus 5, it's ugh. Now, interestingly enough, as you focus, you get that feeling again. The same time as when you were trying to scry on, as though you're peering through broken glass, reaching through and trying to grasp the image. The further you go, the further you try to reach it, it's like painful. It almost hurts you.
Bring
And
on the
there's
pain.
flashes of grey, black, white. You're on the material plane, you're in a large open wilderness, and then you're suddenly down in the dark, and then you're up again and down, and it hurts your brain, but you push through and you see out of it's almost like seeing two different visions out of each eye. They merge somewhat in the middle, this strange grass-like landscape and this dark place crumbling and broken. Down here, the vision has slightly more clarity than it did up there, and you do see the back of a boy walking amongst individuals, similar to what Slyer described. The individuals are battered, bruised, but alive. And then your vision fragments again, and
Do I see his face at all?
it's from the back at the moment.
Mhm.
The vision fragments again, and you're in grassland. And then you're back down, walking. Someone calls out, "We should set up camp," and then you're back in this grassland and then down. And when you come back down this time, the camp is being set up. And the boy you're following is sitting there. And you can see now his profile. But every time you focus on it, just before you can fully see every part of the image, you can focus on his eyes, and then you're back in that strange grassland. Then you're back down, and you can take in the shape of his nose and side of his face. And then you're back beneath open skies, and you're down again. And this time you notice he looks so much like Karul.
Good stuff.
Make me a wisdom save.
Something's up with Brian's scrying.
Yeah.
Is
Very
it?
high. Very high. 28.
28.
Probably more with his new stats, but
That's fine.
I think that saves.
You take 5 points of damage. psychic damage. As you feel almost as though your eyes are like tearing up and stinging. And your brain spikes like a twang, like something's hitting against your head, but you keep your focus. And
Brian. He
hurt
can do
Brian.
it.
Up, down, up, down. Your vision is light and then dark. It's disorientating. You feel like you're going to be sick. And he just sits there.
Okay, he's gonna stop then.
Yep. When you come out of it, make me another wisdom save.
It was 18 again, plus 10, so 28.
Okay, you are not stunned. You're fine. Coming out of it, you blink, and it's like, finally, your vision is clear. And without realizing it, Loran is like holding you up, and you're like staring at the top of the clouded dome. Slya, you just watched Allstare like start scrying, and then immediately just go like almost as if he's having a seizure, like fall back into Loran. And Loran looks troubled, and he's like waving a hand in front of your face, and is like, "What the fuck? Are you okay?"
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I do an intelligence check to see if it's something to do with the target, or it seems to be a problem with my scrying?
Sure.
So
15 plus intelligence, 15, 16, 18.
18. Without anything to compare it to, at the moment, it's hard to tell whether it's your scrying or whether it's the target, or if it's either of those at all. One thing you do know is that this hasn't ever happened with any other target.
Can I try something? Can I try and scry on Loran, who's right there?
Yeah.
See if the same thing happens. Okay, I do that.
Your vision pulls up and pulls immediately back down, and you can see Loran, and he's in front of you.
It's
Even
fine.
though you're... Yep, it's fine. You also know from Slya's description that her scrying didn't look like this. So if it's not the target, and it's not your scrying, what could it be?
The place? I don't know.
I'm going to drink some water.
I describe exactly what happened to everyone there.
Trying to figure this
including
out.
Loran
people who
says
are
what I
smarter.
just said.
Yeah.
And Loran says that what I just said. Well, if it's not your scrying, because that clearly just worked on me, and it's not the target because Slya's scrying worked, then maybe it's the location.
Means that he and Doral are probably in the same location, which is interesting.
Dral's made headway. That's a good thing. Well, at least I hope it is.
Unless he gets caught.
Something tells me maybe it's best to find Doral first. Clearly he's got the right idea.
I mean, he wasn't against me in the messages. Slayer, I messaged Doral, but he wasn't really acquiescing to help or let us help him.
What if we bring him an offering? A bit of information, if we find out anything.
You want to find Doral and go straight to him?
I don't know. It's an idea. Saraza says it's an idea that might not work if we don't have anything to offer him to prove to him that we could be useful, then he'll just say no to us again.
I mean, he's with Sobek. I didn't see Elijah with him last time, so maybe he could use some help.
Maybe it's worth having another scry on Elijah when we get back to...
You can do that.
Slya, you mentioned, well, you showed Loran that place Aninpur.
It's destroyed, but the veins from the message that I got, I'm not sure. I think all that's left might be those chasms.
Chasms. I saw chasms with Gerald. Scrying.
Wait a second. And Loran turns to Sarza. Sarza, do you still have the sketches of the wildlife? And Sarza says, I brought one with me just in case I could identify it, but I thought it was a long shot seeing as it's wildlife from this. She would probably only know wildlife from the Underdark. And he pulls out a sketch. And Loran opens it and says, this is what we saw around Gerald. He shows it to you, Slya. Have you ever seen anything like this? Slya? This is very reminiscent of the foliage you saw around Valis in the Underdark.
Loren, remember the I know she said something about the Krivamai, but
Yes.
She doesn't have the vine in her pocket. She probably put it with the other plants in like her bag. I was given something similar to this. And can you do that again? The thoughts.
Yes, that's a third level spell. He has more of those. Yes, I can.
Okay. So she gives him all the information about the Krivamai that she learned.
Oh, that's very Underdark.
Including the information she got from Sinestre about the tree and the heart of the Krivamai, all that good shit.
Good shit. Okay. He pulls back and is like, this is a lot of information to make sense of once. But let's consolidate what we do have. This foliage exists on the material plane and in the Underdark. Gerald was in a chasm, and you saw Valis as well there. In a chasm, perhaps not the same one. Likely not the same one.
Could it be where the Underdark and the material plane cross?
I did scry on Gerald from the material plane.
Maybe that's why it's...
So the Underdark, right? So the Underdark, as far as I'm aware, doesn't cross over in the same way that it would, say, just going underground and overground. It's almost like a barrier. It's a new plane entirely. Taking certain entrances wouldn't lead you to the same places in the Underdark, just because they're near each other, or look like each other, or feel like they should match up.
But what if there is a rift?
But what if there is a rift? But what if that's why you're scrying so weird?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Wherever Gerald is, and wherever Valis is, exists in two planes at the same time.
That would explain why it hurts my head.
this has implications that I can't fathom standing here in the Underdark without magical apparatus around me and other magical minds. I need arcanists. He reaches out as if like, Slya, just come back with us.
I can't.
Why? You can! And Sarah's was like, Loran, that's ridiculous. No! Just come back with
My
us.
dad told me not to do anything stupid, and that sounds.
Well,
like
he's
it.
dumb! Well, no, he's not. He's very smart.
It
Slya,
would
and
break. It would
If I
break the promise.
break.
Slya has worked very hard to get their trust as well, from the sounds of it.
yeah. Sorry, that was dumb. I just feel like we're close to it now.
We can't alert the drow. We don't want them to know what we're trying to do.
No.
All around.
Can I suggest something quite potentially awful before we leave? Slya, knowing that you have disclosed all of this information to the drow, and that you've seen us and that you know what we're doing, and that the drow might have magics to access that, it might be a good idea to take those memories from you. Because in case they get their hands on it.
I was gonna suggest the same thing.
We were always very alike. I'm sorry.
And you can always put them back when I see you again.
Well, we can take the memories and then give you a hug and then leave. So at least you have the memories of the hug.
Of 3 random drow women hugging her, yes. Beautiful memories.
Yeah, I think it would be safer for you to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
just.
That was my turn to be stupid.
I don't like it.
Pulls you into a very tight hug.
Baron just pats her shoulders.
You can feel like tears on your shoulders, probably. Probably about the same height.
I would make you a flower, but then I would have to destroy.
Would you?
They'd
put them away
notice.
so that they'd be safe.
I think they might notice.
Am I doing this then?
Yes,
Okay.
Leah fixes her face and then.
Oh.
Brian takes Leah's face between his hands and give her a kiss on each cheek, and then steps back.
Lauren
It was
steps
lovely seeing
forward.
you. Good luck.
See y'all again soon.
All right. You two leave the circle. Just walk around the corner.
Can I inside check Loran?
Yeah.
27.
He doesn't want to do this. He feels kind of bad about it. You can already tell, but he's gonna do it.
Brian doesn't stop him.
As you watch Brian and Saraza leave the sanctum, Loran looks at you and just gives your cheeks a squeeze and just says, "Well, we're doing the impossible, making someone forget about me." I'm sorry.
Okay. We can fix it when we're back.
We will. And he takes your head in his hands. And you feel the memories and the recognition fading from you. The sanctum fades as he casts the spell. And in a blink, You just see a drow female standing in front of you, lowering her hands. She turns away, then walks around the corner. But you don't feel upset or empty or hollow or anything like that, because even though Loran took your memories, he left the comfort, the joy, the feeling like you'd accomplished something. Why, you have no idea.
Slya's like, oh my god, I'm late.
And immediately you run off down and all stare. From your vantage point around the corner, you watch her dash off into the city of Batar. Whilst that would be, yep. Whilst that would be a great place to end the session, we do have well, I know that you have to log off, Lily.
Pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah. We have one last scene, which is a fairly intense scene.
Which one is
before
it? How long is it?
Nefs.
Yeah,
Look,
it's
I
gonna
don't
be a
mind
long
doing it
void.
at the beginning of next session.
Okay. So, yeah. The next session will be picking up with our regular game. We will be doing the last 3 scenes. Well, 4 scenes, including Nefs. And then we will be picking
Caitlin's
up with the
teary.
aftermath of what those are. It's quite emotional. It's actually
Yeah.
quite sad. I was really
Yeah.
affected by them.
Yeah, boys.
I wasn't expecting
It
that, and I
makes
also
sense.
it makes a
It
lot
makes
of sense. I think I think Loran was taking this all as like a big win, and then it's like a little bit of like a.
I love that both Slya and Brian suggested the same thing.
I think you can
Yeah.
see exactly. Oh shit! There was also
Fast
one more.
half us.
Sorry, there is one more thing.
Did
it's
you just
kind
pick up
of
an Uno
No.
card?
I do. I carry this around in my jacket pockets.
Oh
No, you.
No, you.
Yeah, exactly.
Me making the NPCs feel bad. You guys making Loran modify Slaya's memory. No, I made this at school because I don't have anything to do anymore because my job is a joke.
So
Anyway.
you just flicker your you card at people.
I wanted to learn how to use the laminator and I wanted to see if it was possible to print in color. So I did that by making this card.
Okay.
Anyway,
Skill.
in the middle. So, Slya, this is going to be even worse considering the modified memory. A day passes. You spend your night at Sophie's, a brief respite from the monotonous life you lead at the Church of Lolth. Walking back, as you approach the steps, climbing to your residence that you share with Arcadia, you open the door and you see a drow sitting on Arcadia's bed. Arcadia's bed, which has been freshly made. Her things spirited away. And the drow who turns towards you, someone else entirely. And that is when you learn of the eradication of Arcadia's house.
Wait, say again, sorry.
Eradication of Arcadia's house.
Yeah. So, just a little bit of insight. Something that Slya has seen is the trials of the varying houses, which is where she sees either the fall or the ascension of various families. And unless you eradicate the entire house, your family gets eliminated. And I did learn that Talus's family, there was an attempt to eliminate her house, except for she anticipated the attack and prevented it. So,
Lovely.
yeah.
Just thought I would make this a whole lot worse for you.
So Slya comes back and she's like, "Oh," and then
Up and
something
down.
kind of like clicks in her head of like, that is what Sinestre meant.
D&D 3 houses.
Suddenly it's two.
Oh,
I'm sorry for that.
Happy fun time.
the happiest
In the
Uh,
Underdark with
most
Slya.
fun times.
So what's Slya's new handler's name?
Let me look up the note. My iPad keeps closing every time I look away.
Does
Your
that
new
mean
handler-
Arcadia's dead?
Yep.
Oh.
Eradicated.
I bet you guys thought she was going to live because she had a crush on Bashar, but guess what? Beautiful lesbian love doesn't save you.
Emma, why do you do this?
Not in the Underdark.
I didn't even notice. Oh, it's so sad.
Her name is Mercy.
Pray for
So-
mercy.
It's poetic.
Anyway, that is where we will leave the game.
Oh my god.
Should I read both of the letters next game as well?
Yes, please. I really want you to.
Ooh.
And
I will
next
sign
letter
off
as well.
as an NPC. So should I sign off as... Who should I sign off at this time? Lol Arcadia, because she's dead.
What was Arcadia's voice?
It was kind of just low and like judgmental.
It would be a nice send off in a way.
Or Alexa.
Or that, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, Alexa. Okay. So, everybody, thank you for watching. Now, I don't know if you know, but next week I'm having my baby shower, so that'll be a huge scene in the game. 100%, definitely, really will be. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be beautiful. We'll have a baby, like a gender reveal, everything. So, if you want to see it, if you want to take part, and maybe also see the continuation of these adventures, you've just got to watch this channel next Sunday at 8 p.m.
Earlier.
Oh no, 7:30 p.m.
Earlier. It's gonna be like
6:30 p.m.
6:30 p.m.
Australian
Australian
time.
Time. Magicy wagicy, timey
Oh.
wimey stuff.
Oh.
6:30 p.m. Australian time. 4:30 p.m. Japan time, and I don't God knows when in the morning Texas time. Yeah. I'm going to go back to my husband and convince him it's a good idea that we got married. Goodbye! That's it.
Oh.
Okay. I guess we'll end it there, boys.
Thanks,
If you
Emma,
wanna
for the
stop.
amazing session. Thank you, everybody, for watching and
Thank
all that.
you.
Yeah. I'm really sorry, Aelin. I feel like you've got a really heavy lot this game.
Slya went into the Underdark. You know, it's just heavy content.
Yeah.
I can't help the sniffles. They're
I know.
Really do
I
like
actually
that
kind of felt
sometimes.
really bad about it. But hey.
I don't feel bad about it at all. So,
Slaz
I mean, if
Dahan.
I hadn't suggested it, Slya would have suggested it. So
yeah, somebody was gonna suggest it between the two of them. So
Disaster half elves. Squad up.
yeah,
Oh man.
Disaster elves.
on the same page, even
When their planes apart.
5 months apart. Let's see. Oh yeah, we are doing way early next week. It's 2:30 a.m. for me.
Oh boy.
2:30
Oh
a.m.
boy, 2:30 a.m. That's
Oh,
when I
fun.
used to get up for my Wednesday game, so.
That is
right.
before my bedtime. Okay, it was just out. It was like, no.
out.
See you later. I'm out of here.
bye.
Dog.
I
Alright, dudes.
just crashed
Yeah.
again.
Oh,
It's okay.
I got class tomorrow, so
Let's wrap this one up.
good night.
Okay,
Oh,
next
class.
week we'll
until
be
they make everything online. Woo!
Yay! Alright, everyone. I'll see you all next week for
Next week.
Oh, Emma, I'll
half
see
of a-
you tomorrow for
See you tomorrow for Bran
That's-
Flakes.
yeah.
Next week will be half of a recap session then, just about, and the rest will be proper game again.
Current time.
Everyone, send Emma encouraging gifts to get her to post spicy stuff.
Yes,
There
yes,
you go.
please.
What if I just post out of context lines from it?
Do
That
would be
I'm
so
actually
good.
keen
That
for.
would be really funny.
Oh my
Because
God.
there are
Just pick the worst lines and post them in the chat.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Okay, right, that's my
Can I
evening
bribe you
sorted.
Alright.
with a
Pick the choicest
my
line.
Shall I
vision
post them in the Discord
piece.
or in Facebook?
Facebook, because it's funnier.
Great. Beautiful.
I just want the little ding notification for all of it.
Oh,
Ding.
okay. Alright, everybody.
Much love.
Thank you for watching.
Guys.
Thanks for playing, everyone. See
Thanks for
you
hosting.
next time.
Bye.
See you tomorrow. Bye.